Well, it's because it's like the bass player wants a serious design, but then the vocalist wants a funny design. It's like, no, you get two designs. You can't. You can't do both in one. You know.
Bassist John like fucking said that like it looks fucking weird. Can you like fix it, dude? Like I tried to like show this to him, and he's just kind of like, bro, like what do you? Like, can you just make it like not weird, dude? Thanks, dude. Also, we need this like today. If you can like get this done like right now, dude. Like.
Oh my god.
Craziness. It's not always, I'm definitely doing a little projecting. It's not always like that, but
oh no.
You work in the field long enough, dude, you know, you kind of get some war stories, you know.
Hey, how's it going? You are here for Heavy Art Talk, and today I am pumped. I have Curly Swope joining me. Curly is a musician, illustrator. I can tell that he likes to inject humor into his designs, which I think is going to lead to a really interesting conversation. But Curly has worked with a ton of bands, and as a musician himself, he has a couple of different projects. So on the illustration side of things, he's worked with bands like All Shall Perish, Sanguisugabogg, With Blood Comes Cleansing, Lorna Shore, many, many more. And then on the music side, he is in a project called Turtle Tea Party and then Zombie Shark. Without further ado, Curly joining me from Philly. What's happening, man?
Yo, brother, thank you so much for having me on it. This is a huge honor, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's good to hear that, I guess, man. I've been trucking along for like going on 2.5 years at this point.
It's amazing.
So what have you been listening to lately?
Dude, I've been in like this crazy, like just black metal hole right now. I've been listening to like nothing but just older like Norwegian black metal bands and like checking out a lot of newer ones recently. I don't even know what happened. I think the second it started to get cold, I don't know. I think it was maybe back at the end of November. I watched Until the Light Takes Us for the first time.
Yeah,
they had just put it up on YouTube, and I mean, I had already loved, had a deep love of black metal for a pretty long time, like growing up, and I guess I kind of like didn't really like go back to it for a whole lot of or just I don't know. And I watched that movie and then got like completely re-obsessed with it again. I watched the movie like 4 times in a row and then just completely I don't know what happened. I think I just like completely just got sucked back into it. So I don't know. I've been listening to like a ton of Life Lover and the early Over albums.
Bergtot's amazing.
Bergtot, oh my god! I literally just bought a shirt the other day.
That album's perfect, dude.
Yeah, been listening to a lot of that. Been listening to a lot of newer. There's a lot of newer black metal bands that are kind of killing it right now.
Totally.
This artist, I'm probably gonna butcher the name, but Selvnat and Drangvale just did a collaborative album called Blades and Roses. I've been like super obsessed with. They've kind of been capturing that old kind of like Dark Throne-esque like kind of production. There's another new one. I'm definitely going to butcher the name though. Cacturak or
right, the romantic black metal or whatever.
Yeah. Like swordsman, like gothic black metal. He just dropped a song with a blade.
Dude, I saw the promo pic for that and it cracked me up. I literally just saw it like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, you know what? Respect.
Dude, I fuck with it. I love it, dude. I just think
it's funny, man.
Dude, it's hilarious. It's so funny.
Like, it's a perfect troll.
It literally is. Like, I couldn't think of like a more far removed artist from like black metal to like just fuck with like the nerds, you know.
Yeah.
Just putting like a blade on the track, and that song is like so crazy. I feel like I'm like having a stroke when I'm listening to it because like he's just like singing over it, you know, like he's doing his like blade auto tune, like singing over like the This like,
oh my gosh, I haven't even listened to it. I just literally saw the promo pic and I was like, oh, anything that gets like black metal nerds to like complain about stuff.
right.
And this is coming from someone who loves black metal, and like I mean, I love the mystique too. So it's like I do. There's an element that it's like, how do I say this? I like people who can be serious but don't take themselves too seriously.
Sure.
So it's like, you know, I don't want all black metal to become immortal and like, you know, make a joke out of it. But when they do, I like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's good in short doses. I've already seen like Twitter and Reddit blowing up about the track, just like your amount of hate on like both sides. Like it's the collaboration that like nobody wanted, but I love, you gotta have like artists like that in the scene to shake shit up, you know, or else it gets
I agree with that. There's been a lot of great black metal too that I've been listening to. Last year I think there was a ton of good stuff. Yellow Eyes. Anytime Krallis puts something out, that's like the type of black metal I love.
Yeah. I got to see them live for the first time like last year, and it was like,
I imagine that was amazing.
They're crazy. They're a band that I've also like followed like since late high school, early college, and never got a chance to like really see them. I always feel like they don't get like the flowers they deserve because like I don't know. They're just like musical geniuses. You know, the amount of sheer output. It's funny. I actually in my black metal travels journey for the last couple months, I got really hooked on Panopticon again.
Oh, I love Panopticon.
And I'd only listened to his one album, The Scars of Man, on Once Nameless Wilderness.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't get I was going back, you know, because I was just going back and like listening to like a ton of like older stuff and like reconnecting with it. And I had never listened to his album Kentucky, which was
amazing.
Which like blew my mind. And then I got so hooked on the whole story of that album about like the Harlem County coal miners, and I saw that there was like a Criterion documentary of it about that, like that whole thing, and I listened to that whole album and then watched like the whole documentary because like when I'm working on commissions and stuff, like I'll just, you know, I'll put like whatever on, and
right.
I was so moved by the album and the movie. I like walked out to my girlfriend. I was like just super quiet, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, I just listened to like a black metal album about the Harlem County coal miners labor union fiasco, and I feel like I just got roped into some shit for like a minute. It was so crazy. I mean, what a beautiful album and concept, and I love. I think it's the first time I've ever really listened to like a lot of his more folkier stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I feel like in a lot of ways, like some of that stuff can get like gimmicky, but like the way that he approaches it feels like so authentic and so
100%.
You can like really feel like the emotion in it. Like even though it's like I listen to like a lot of genres of music, but like even something like that's like not really my forte. Like it's like bluegrass, like kind of country, and like even that, it's like I could feel like the emotion like in it. Like, you know, the dude really cares about his craft a lot. It's just crazy.
100%. If I may, real quick.
Yeah.
Something you should listen to, and everybody who's listening that likes Panopticon even a little bit, a project called Weft came out in December. It's Charlie, the fiddle player in Panopticon. It's his project, and I think Austin does drums on it. But I'm telling you, the new Weft album is being slept on, and I think it's one of the best black metal albums I've listened to in the last couple of years for sure. It's amazing. So I'll try to put a picture up here. It's out on Bind Rune Recordings. 100% recommend.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. Thank you for recommending that.
Yeah, and Charlie seems like a really cool dude too. He's been on Heavy Metallurgy, which is YouTube friends of mine. But yeah, dude, good people, good music, perfect combination, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, what's up? I'm just editing the video and I want to let you guys know that for like the next 30, 35 minutes or so, we do kind of go down memory lane, talking a lot about music from our youth. We're similar in age and talking about early internet, Myspace, deathcore, shit like that. So just putting it out there, if you don't want to listen to that, skip about 35 minutes ahead. I don't recommend it because I think the conversation's a ton of fun, but I know for some people, they want to get right to the illustration stuff. It does take a little bit longer for this episode because we were just having so much fun. All right. Thanks, guys. So for you then, I listened to your music for the first time today and I'm like, holy shit, this is pretty bonkers, man. And I feel like maybe we'll kind of go this way with the conversation. So we'll start a little bit music, then we'll go to illustration. But, so are you around my age? Are you around 34, 33? Like, are you a little younger?
I'm 31. I just turned 31 in January.
Okay, but you probably were in some ways kind of seeing the same thing like when you were in high school.
Yeah.
With like metalcore and deathcore and stuff. Like that kind of just I was thinking about today because I knew this conversation was coming up. But like, and I guess I'm talking a lot here, but it'll come back to you. But when I was in high school, like freshman, sophomore year, when Job for a Cowboy came out with Entombment of the Machine, to me it was like the equivalent or the closest equivalent to when Nirvana came out and then got rid of all of the like fucking, Motley Crue bands.
Yeah.
Because like, dude, that like changed my high school overnight. And then girls, boys, everybody was into it. And like it infected my high school and all these like little churches, if you call them churches, they would have these shows. Sure. So like I was just wondering if you had like similar experience with like the MySpace deathcore stuff, because like I don't listen to it that much anymore, but like it was part of my youth, and I have no problem admitting that.
Yeah, dude. I mean that was my life in high school. Trying to even like think. It's funny. I mean, I could definitely go like deeper into it, but my parents, at least at the time when I was growing up, were like very Christian, and like my parents were head of like our local church consistory and stuff, and like vehemently against like anything like metal or like anything. Like we had a gas station in our hometown that used to get I don't even know if they were Decibel mags at the time, but like or Kerrang, maybe whatever, like older like stuff, peak like Slipknot, Manson era kind of stuff. And I remember my mom like literally covering my eyes going into the gas station. So I wouldn't even like look at like even get a taste of the visual imagery of like the dark metal, whatever. So like eventually when I became a teenager, the goal was to just find like the scariest thing imaginable and like and like bump it. But I'm trying to. I think I remember. The first time I heard Entombment of the Machine, I think I was in high school. I think I was like in a class or something, and I remember there was some downtime in the class, and I remember kids in the room were watching the music video for Entombment of the Machine on YouTube, and I just remember the sample of
double snare hit. Yeah, grabs both sticks. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, dude.
I distinctly remember the sample of the girl screaming, and I remember like the kid who was watching it was just like, dude, that's like his actual vocals. Like he could actually like scream that high. And like, I remember getting into a fight with him, being like, "There's no way, like he sounds like a girl screaming." He's like, "No, like he sounds like this with the rest of the song." And like, but yeah, I guess I mean from there, like I remember just like being like absolutely hooked on it, and
a million bands popped up like overnight, dude, or it seemed that way.
Yeah.
Like every high school had a band, and then there were the bigger bands, but even the bigger bands, they weren't that much older. I mean, they're like maybe 5-6 years older. Like it was just a young scene at the time.
Yeah, because like I remember, I think like maybe around that time too, like Chelsea Grin had just dropped the first EP, and like I think it was sort of like a heavy rotation of like that album and like the Doom EP were kind of like back to back. I mean, like that was like it felt like the first time that like, because I think like bigger bands were already starting to get established, like Suicide Silence and
Whitechapel,
and like even like Bring Me the Horizon like early on, So like, seeing a band like Chelsea Grin kind of like pop up into the fold was kind of like a really crazy thing, because it was just
like, 3 guitars at the time too. I remember I saw him live at like this, like a bowling alley kind of shit, dude. It was like crazy.
Yeah, they were sick. I'm such a, like, I mean, I love that culture, the old like MySpace, all of that stuff is like so very cherished to me, and like I love everything about it. Like just like I love like the band promos with like 9 members, in the fold and stuff, like everybody with like swooshy hair, like looking like emo.
Snake bites, dude.
Yeah, I was like, I remember like being at like a point where it was like if the band didn't have like 2 vocalists or like 2 keyboardists or like something weird about them, or like didn't have, like if your band only had 5 members in it, I was definitely less likely to check it out if as opposed to like the bands that had, like 7 to 9 members in it. I look at those old Dr. Ocula promos and like the old like Design the Skyline promos. Like I can close my eyes and like see them in my head. It's just like
dude, I remember like all these like little Sumerian flyers when they were doing like their tours. Fuck, man, it brings back good memories for me, dude. Like really good memories, just being in high school. And like what it was for me, there was the big tech death thing, which I was equally into.
Sure.
And then I was also into the deathcore. Like I was kind of like trying to exist in both worlds, or that was my interest. But like, I saw Abacab, After the Burial, and Tony Danza, I believe, on one show, and it was like, and like looking back, that's like fucking legendary. And like they all brought it, man. Like, and it was such a. You just don't really know. I didn't know at the time, like it was a special moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We were living in the golden age and didn't even know it, man.
Exactly.
Crazy. It's funny. I'm actually literally next week. I'm literally flying to Tennessee to go see that Tony Danza reunion.
You are?
Yeah. They're doing a reunion show in Nashville. They announced it. Like back in December, or maybe it was November. And I remember it wasn't even like a thought in my head. I just like bought the tickets and I'm just like, I'm going to figure this out later. But I'm like, there's just a handful of bands from like that era that like I still haven't seen yet. And I feel like I've kind of been like, collecting them like the Infinity Stones or something.
Dude, you got to see Josh Travis live. I saw him right when he joined the band. And he was only like 2 weeks in. He was like, oh yeah, I wrote the drums and the guitar for like the new record. Where I was like talking to him, and he was so friendly because he was green too, like he just kind of came out of nowhere. But that guy is immensely underrated in terms of a player.
I got to meet him only kind of recently. I think like maybe last year or something. But it was when he was touring with Amir, which I know he just left recently. I hope he's going back to Danza, but I ran into him in the parking lot and got to talk to him for like a brief second, which was like also like such a surreal, like holy shit kind of moment. And I don't know. I like older Amir, but like some of the newer.
They've never been my band.
I feel that. I don't think they're most people's band, honestly. It was fun to see that because they were another band that like I hadn't seen, like I had kind of missed out on growing up, and I don't know. They were ripping some of the old songs from like Felony and like Speaker of the Dead and stuff, which I could get down with, but some of the other stuff is just kind of like whatever. I don't know. I feel like Josh Travis was like the last good thing about that band, but I also don't want to like too much shit.
No, I mean it's whatever, dude. I mean you got to have your preferences,
right? Sure.
I'm trying to think of I think my favorite bands from like that era would definitely be Red Chord, Tony Danza.
Yeah.
I really, really like the early Contortionist material.
Ooh, yeah,
Dude, the
man.
the Apparition EP, which has never been like really, is so fucking good.
Yeah. Apparition is bang.
That I play that all the time. I also really like early Between the Buried and Me. Silent Circus, dude. I fucking love that album. That pure nostalgia for me.
Yeah, Silent Circus. I was a huge fan of Alaska
Yeah, amazing.
and obviously Colors. I mean, Silent Circus, Alaska, Colors, like generational run.
Great Mr. X, amazing too.
Yeah. Also really good. Yeah, they were like a band. I feel like it's funny, like I think like in the midst of like I was sort of telling you not like I guess maybe it is like a rebellious kind of phase or something, but I think my obsession with it was like any band that had like a really long name or colorful album artwork or a bunch of members in was like super huge for me. I feel like the second I got LimeWire on my computer, I was like,
I was a pure volume kid.
Oh, nice.
Pure volume, man.
Yeah.
I loved it, dude. I would love just hunting down stuff.
Yeah, I was like, it was sort of funny because like as I was kind of like going through the motions of like discovering a lot of bands, like it's funny, I would go on like Wikipedia and like sort of do deep dives of bands through there and like find like weird genres, because I know there used to be like things where it's like, oh, like deathcore and then like associated genres, which brought me to like deathcore, mathcore, Nintendo core, anything that had like a core at the end of it, that I like thought was like completely absurd. And then through that, it's like, oh, here's a list of bands in the mathcore genre. Here's a list of bands in the deathcore genre. And like any band that had like a crazy name, like I think that's how I discovered like Bring Me the Horizon at the time. Because I remember like back in like 2010 or 9 at least, I was like, this is the coolest band name I've ever read off my entire life. I'm like, I need to like, I need to be involved with this. I need to like, it sort of just opened my whole worldview to like a whole bunch of genres like within the heavy sphere. I think it's also how I found like Between the Buried and Me and Abacab and stuff like that. Anything that's sort of like, and I think maybe that's kind of the thing that I love is just like the playfulness and like the sort of carefreeness of it. And it's sort of weird because it almost feels like it's like death metal like marketed to like kids, and it's like I know like the subject matter of like the lyrics and like the intensity of the music like isn't that, but all of the visual aesthetics are like bright and colorful and like were absurd, and it was just like sort of this crazy like thing. I everything feels so like formulaic now, or it has to be like a certain way or a certain style, and then it was just sort of like it just felt like they were just kind of making shit up as they went.
I mean, totally, dude. And like we're like part of like that evolution, you know what I mean? Like at the beginning they were like the bands like you were talking about, they wouldn't even necessarily be mathcore, but they'd be like, their whole thing was like putting in like South Park samples and shit. Sure. It's like that was like their thing, and that was like a local band that was doing that. And I think that's the other thing too that was really cool is like the every town had like these local bands that never went anywhere. I wish I had like some of those CDs just for like just remembering, because it's like those are the bands that kind of get forgotten because they never really went anywhere. But there was this band called McLean out of Atlanta that I don't even remember if they're good. I wish I had that CDR. It's somewhere. But I auditioned to be their drummer, and my mom actually took me to the audition, and they liked me, but they didn't like that my mom drove me to the audition because I was like 18, so I didn't get the gig. But
oh no!
But yeah, dude, I remember seeing them a couple times, and like, I don't know, it's just fun, like seeing these like weird. In the Atlanta scene was very like not it was exactly what we're talking about with like the goofiness.
Yeah.
We had the Chariot.
Yeah.
You know, that was like a big band in that, where it was all about just like the chaos live, the Dillinger, you know, kind of thing.
Sure.
But it just brings me back, dude. I don't really listen to that stuff too much anymore, but I don't hate on it, or like I'm not ashamed of my past like some fucking people are, I guess you could say.
Yeah, dude, it's funny. I definitely had I remember having a moment like in college where I was like, you know, like I'm not gonna be seen anymore, and I'm gonna, you know,
yeah, exactly.
done with this. I'm done. And like, I remember like 2 or 3 years later, I was just like, I went to, I think I actually went with Hayden. I think we went to go see. It was, I think it was back in like 2014, and it was like Chimera with Oceano, Reflections, and I wrestled a bear once. And I remember it just like brought me right back, and I'm like, yo, screw this. I'm like, I'm back. I've like bought like so much merch like at the booths and stuff, and I was just like, yeah, I saw the meme where it's like, or something's like, at what age did you try to unemo yourself and fail? And I was like, dude, yeah, screw that.
I mean, part of it too is like, when I'm in like in high school, like, I mean, I like the music too, but it's also like, this was heavy music that also like chicks were into. So it's like, naturally, I'm like not going to like shoot myself in the foot. So I'm like, I'm going to go to these shows, you know, and be part of it.
Exactly.
Because like, they don't want to go see a Dying Fetus show or an Origin show. I was into that too.
Right.
But like, they're not there, man.
Yeah,
so,
no.
So, you know,
a bros only club, I think.
Yeah, it's way smellier, you know.
Yeah, like Tech Death, dude. Yeah, Tech Death. I'm sorry, but Tech Death gets like negative bitches, dude. Like,
it really does.
Like deathcore doesn't get any bitches. Like, you know, deathcore does. Deathcore definitely does.
Yeah,
death metal some of the time, but
it's more so now, I'd say.
Yeah, it's definitely been a lot more normalized now.
I mean, you go to a hardcore show and there's a lot of chicks now too, which is
yeah. Hardcore definitely. Hardcore gets mad bitches for sure. Metalcore kind of still, depending on what flavor of metalcore.
I don't even know what is metalcore right now, dude. I is that genre kind of in a lull, because I don't even see those bands really being that big. I mean,
I feel like most metalcore now is just like the octane core, or just like, or I guess that's what they've been called, octane core, coworker.
It's like heavy butt rock kind of thing.
Yeah, like I guess like what, like fuck, Ice Nine Kills, or Sleep or President, or, you know.
Oh yeah, I hate all that stuff.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, man.
The first big Sleep Token album, I remember listening to that and I was like, I can see why people like it. The one they released like last year or the year before is so bad. It's like so much worse.
I didn't even listen to it. I listened to the first album. I genuinely did really like that song, The Summoning, for like the first 4 minutes of it. And sometimes, like, even like if I'm at the gym, like sometimes it'll pop up on the playlist, but it's always like after like 4 minutes, and then it goes into that, you know, like I don't even know if it's like Imagine Dragons, but just white guy trying to be sexy R&B shit. It's like, it's so bad. It sounds like I'm coping right now. It's like, I actually love that song. I actually love Sleep Token now. But
drumming's good. I'll give him that. And if Sleep Token wants any work done, I will work with you. That's fine. I'll take the commission.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, to each their own. But yeah, it's definitely just one of those things where it's like, it's just not for me. It's funny, like my girlfriend works in ticket sales, and when Sleep Token came to Philly, they played at what was used to be called Wells Fargo. I think it's called the Xfinity Arena now, which is like right down the street from me. Dude, it's sold out in like an hour. It's fucking
amazing.
It's nuts, dude. I mean, like, it's whatever they have is like must be working, you know. I mean, again, you know, it's like it's not my bag at all. It's not my thing, but I couldn't even believe it. She was like telling me, she's just like, you know, that Sleep Token show like sold out like in an hour. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. Like that's
Well, it's like that generation Slipknot, you know what I mean?
I guess. I
mean, for me, like that was the band, you know. That was the big band.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I can even show it. I got a little Corey Taylor on my.
Oh, you got the old school one though.
Yeah.
I could dig that, dude. I could dig it. I was obsessed with Slipknot when I was younger, man. I remember because the other thing is like all this nostalgia is fused with really early internet when the internet was like a legitimate escape and like really fun. You know what I mean? So like. There was like this one website that just had all these different photos of the masks, and I was just obsessed with like looking at them and like drawing them and stuff.
Who was your favorite?
Visual wise, I liked Pinhead or Craig's mask. I thought that was really sick, like a really cool concept, especially the early ones. It was like real nails and stuff, you know, like that's pretty hardcore. The early clown masks are really terrifying too.
Yeah, they're really scary.
Mix is pretty iconic, you know.
Yeah, I've always felt that. I don't know if it's ever been confirmed, but I always felt that like Mix, like whole aesthetic. I always felt like he kind of looked like a Casey from like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or something. Like I always,
I can see that.
A take on that. Now Craig's was sick. I love his like. I think it might have been on like self-titled era when it was just like a racing helmet with like a strobe light like on the top of it. I follow a bunch of accounts. I think his account name is like Schizo666, but he does like
he sounds really cool.
Dude, his account is like genuinely fucking dope as shit, dude. he makes like custom masks or like restores and creates like Slipknot masks. Like he finds
that's pretty
original
cool.
Like vintage like masks that they had like bought from the stores to like convert into the time before it became like a big commercial thing, and he like restores them but like does them in like really nutty like colorways and stuff. Like I'm so obsessed with it. Like I'll go through sometimes if he pops up on my feed, I'll just go back to his account and just like doom scroll it like for an hour just like looking back at those shit. Craig's was sick. Obviously I have it like tattooed on my ankle. Like the first like iteration of like Corey's masks are fucking awesome. I also really loved Chris Fenn's with like the long nose, like the whole Clockwork Orange. Like I always thought that one was like the scariest to me. It's like weird, like perverted puppet or something.
I mean, dude, but like if you watch live footage, you're like that first album, Iowa era. I mean, it's pretty fucking heavy, dude. Like, they definitely were pretty heavy in the death metal influence at first. There's no doubt about it. Like, there's all the, DJ stuff, and then there's some rap and hip hop elements, but they were the heaviest of all the new metal bands for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, kind of going back on it, like I said, like my parents were like, were super crazy Christian, like growing up, and like I remember when I was first dabbling in like listening to like heavier music, I remember borrowing Subliminal Verses from my buddy, and like I remember like I was like even afraid to like listen to it. Like I was like, it almost felt like this sort of like I gotta do this, like I gotta like rip the Band-Aid off and like take the plunge if I like to be cool or like whatever. And like I remember even like just even on Subliminal Verses being terrified of it, and then like going back to like Iowa and like self-titled. I remember like having to like sneak. I remember waiting till like my parents would like go to bed, and then like on Comcast when they still had like a music video section.
Oh yeah,
they had like the Slipknot music videos, and I'd have to like stay up late to like
Music Choice channel or whatever. They had the metal. Yeah, that's how I found out about like Gojira.
Oh yeah. I mean, I feel like there were a lot of bands I was like kind of exposed to. Yeah, I definitely remember watching some Gojira. Mastodon to like Bullets for My Valentine. There was so much good shit on there. I remember watching I remember being like deathly terrified of Suicide Silence when they were coming up. I think they had the music video for Wake Up, and
Oh yeah.
And the music video for Bludgeon to Death too, which is still just such a fucking weird, like, even like there's still like, I've rewatched that music video every now and again, and there's still moments of it that make me genuinely uneasy. And like, and plus like Mitch Lucker too is like still one of the most terrifying like vocalists in my book for like deathcore. And not only just like how he sounds, but how he looked too. Like he just had like,
he did the thing, you know.
Yeah,
he had the big risers. I saw him with Suicide Silence.
Crazy. I never got to see them with Mitch. I remember a classic story of me wanting to go see them, and of course, you know, trying to sneak around it, and then like somehow my mom found out that I was like going to see like you're not gonna go see a band called Suicide Silence. I'm not gonna being so fucking mad, dude. I was so pissed. Yeah. And, like I think he had passed away like shortly after that, but. Yeah, the dude was built like a freaking like Wendigo, man. Like he just looked on stage, dude.
That's pretty good.
So skinny and like emaciated, you know, and like, oh my god, yeah. It's there's still sometimes I'll jam like The Cleansing or No Time to Bleed, and like
Cleansing's awesome, dude. Especially how it was like all recorded live.
Yeah,
it has a very fresh sound. Like if somebody was thinking that all deathcore was terrible and they're under the age of 45,
right?
I would say listen to The Cleansing or early Whitechapel.
Early Whitechapel's good.
Acacia Strain too, that's another band that's still carrying on, and in some ways probably bigger than ever, but man, Acacia Strain was really big for me too.
Acacia Strain is like the one band from that era that has like aged so gracefully.
Yeah, and they like have evolved in a really cool way.
Yeah,
and Despised Icon too, I'd say. I just saw Despised Icon last year, and it was really fucking good.
Dude, I did too. They were another band like on my list that like I hadn't gotten to see from like that era, and I rarely ever mosh, but the second MVP came on. It was like mask off, dude. I'm like, I'm risking it all right now. I like dove into that fucking pit. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, I'm like, if I'm gonna risk it all on like one song, at least I could say it was MVP by Spies Icon. Yeah. No, they've also aged very gracefully. The newest Acacia Strain album I absolutely loved. I think that's
I like that Stolen Gun EP that he did do, that Vincent did.
Yeah,
that was sick.
Vincent's so fucking cool, man. That band definitely deserves the absolute world. I saw that they too have been kind of reprinting some old like cartoon monster merch from like back in the day. I'm looking for
keeping you in business, man.
I know. You know, I'm like, yo, Vincent, if you're watching this, if anyone in the Acacia Strain's watching this right now, bang my line, bro. Let's work, bro.
Oh, dude, we probably should talk about art soon. I imagine how many people, because there's so many people who watch this who just want to hear about, old school fantasy art and shit, which is like, my big passion. But
sure.
I'm pretty open about like, I don't know. I guess I've already said it, but it's amazing how many people like our age won't admit like where they came from, Because like part of maturing is just being honest with yourself and what you were in high school, you know what I mean? I didn't have the swoopy haircut. I had the fucking Jim Halpert fucking
oh nice.
The mop or whatever they called it.
Yeah.
That was me.
Dude, I definitely I'm not ashamed of it, dude. I straightened my hair and the whole
Oh, you had the whole thing?
Dude, I would bring photos of either Christopher Drew or Ollie Sykes into the hair salon and just be like,
great clips.
Yeah. Dude, it sucked because like I never like very often I'd be able to like get it decent, but my hair's like so naturally curly that like the second there'd be like any ounce of humidity, it would be like fucked up. And it's like, it's stupid.
Yeah, you're fighting an uphill battle, dude.
I was, dude. Bro, I was like, dude, I was dying for that shit. I didn't even give a fuck, dude. Like, I was like really in
that's funny.
for it, dude. Yeah, dude. I wanted to be Ali Sykes so bad, dude. You don't even know. Oh my god, yeah, dude. Yeah, I was really about it, dude. Yeah, that and like super skinnies. I had I mean, if it's any indication of like what I'm doing now for a living, I mean, like I lived at like my local Hot Topic, and like I used to have like probably close to like 200 to like 300 of like the slim fit tees and like the cartoon monster shirts. Like it was like
some of those go for a lot of money now, man.
I know, and when I had my goofball I'm not emo anymore phase, I got rid of like a good bit of which I deeply regret to this day. I still hung on to like some very some good ones. I had some that I was like smart enough not to like throw away, and now I find myself, in like merch collector groups, like scouring it and like picking up, like every so often I'll see like one of the shirts that I had and I'll try and like grab it or pick it up, or if I see it like on eBay or something, like I'm always constantly trying to get it back.
It's amazing, dude. We got to move on from this in a second because we're losing so many people. I got to say one thing though. I was at my parents' place and they were like cleaning up some stuff in my old room. I found so it's a medium shirt, so it doesn't fit me at all, but it was a Abacab shirt I bought from the band, dude. I put that on Depop, and the amount of messages I got within 5 minutes was insane. I was amazed. And then I just bumped the price up because I didn't know it would go for so much.
Right.
I sold that, and I probably could have sold it for more, realizing now, but I sold that for $75.
That's crazy.
Just a logo shirt. And I mean, it was obviously legit, so that's what mattered to the collectors, but there's I guess there are a lot of people our age that are like on the same nostalgia trip. So if you happen to be watching, maybe we are preaching to the choir this episode, but for my usual viewers, you're probably like, shut the fuck up about this American deathcore bullshit. I don't know, man. And much love to, if you are into this kind of conversation, Brutality Podcast, you've done work for them, but Dom and Jan are friends, and I really like their show. They're really good hosts, and I like the conversations.
Yeah. No.
If you happen to like where we're going, definitely listen to them.
Yeah. I love the Brutality Podcast boys so much. I'm hoping I can.
Yeah, they're really friendly. All right, so art. So you pretty much always drawing and stuff. Like, kind of, where did you find that? In music and art, pretty much the same time, or what kind of came first?
Definitely drawing for sure. I feel like it's probably just like the classic story at this point, but I grew up on the outside of, so in between Lancaster and Reading, PA, super out in the sticks, super small town, farm country, and not a lot going on out there, very bored, extremely bored. And I've sort of, I think through the boredom, like just started sketching. My parents worked a lot growing up. So like, I was probably usually at like my grandparents' house, but my grandparents were still like pretty old even when I was like a baby or a kid, so I spent a lot of time like, watching like TV, like Cartoon Network, anime and stuff like that. And I think it sort of stemmed from that. I feel like I was just drawing like a lot of, I was like a big like Dragon Ball Z kid, like growing up, same with like, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, that sort of thing. So I feel like I was drawing like a lot of, characters from that, and like, just drawing kind of like nonstop. And I think it sort of became like a way to just sort of like kind of cope with like a lot of the boredom and like inactivity. I always feel like I was like super fidgety. It's funny because like nobody in my family is an artist except for my grandfather, who sadly passed away a couple years ago. He never pursued art because he was a farmer, but he could draw like amazingly, like anything that you put in front of him, and genuinely really good. It's almost kind of a shame that he never just. I remember always like talking to him when I was like a little kid, just sort of joking with him about being like, oh, like grandpa, like you should paint a painting or something, like talked about stuff like that. But I don't know. It's funny every now and again, like he'd be very quiet about it. I'd catch him like sketching, something down like in a notepad or something, and it would be like this beautiful like rendition of or portrait of like a horse or like a farm or like like a house or something like that. And I always feel like kind of sad he never like explored that more. But I think I sort of maybe got the genes like from him, and I feel like that was kind of like my initial start with like drawing. It's funny. My dad was actually supposed to be down in Philly today, and I was almost kind of hoping that he was gonna be around for the podcast because I kind of wanted to like. I told him I was doing this, and I kind of wanted to have him like tell the story about like one time when I was a kid, my parents got me like a coloring book with like a box crayons, and we had my family had just moved into like our new house at the time, and I remember like all the walls were like white, and I think my parents were like doing something with like their friends or something. They weren't paying attention at all, and I remember just scribbling crayons like all around like our dining room and like into the kitchen. Like I had like completely tore up like the walls and like just drew like all sorts of like crazy like monsters and like Dragon Ball Z characters and stuff like that like throughout the house. I remember my parents being really mad because I had to pay. We just moved into the house like maybe not even like a week, and they already had to like pay somebody to come in and like repaint the walls.
Did you take a picture at least before you painted over it?
No, I wish they did.
Probably just so angry.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool, man. It kind of brings me back to like just that time of 2000s or whatever of like you drew because you're bored, and it was like your way of like also relating to the stuff on TV, so I'm with you with like Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah. Like that's what got me going too.
Yeah.
Which I was just thinking, you haven't done like a Digimon related design yet, have you?
No, I actually haven't.
Somebody needs to commission you for that.
Somebody,
that'd be cool.
Somebody needs to get after me for it. I would love to do who was the one really edgy when the Beelzemon or Beelzemon or whatever.
Like the villain guy or one of the main
I think he was like one of the bad guys.
Okay. Was he like this skeleton looking one?
He was really cool, but he was like the other one that was more of like he was kind of like a biker or something. He had like super goth like biker jacket, and he had
I think I know what you're talking about. I have a like they did a reprint of all those cards.
Yeah.
And I like have the whole collection, so I can look through them. But yeah,
that's so sick.
Yeah, they're just fun. I need to like just like sketch some of them just for fun, man, because like they just bring back once again good memories.
Digimon like character design and like the whole Digimon evolution is like so funny to me because like I always feel like it starts off with like like this cute little like like almost like a cute like Pokemon-esque thing, and then like the next evolution is just like full-bodied adult with like shotguns or something like gothic like chains or like belts.
Well, yeah, the fucking the one looks like a little hamster with little wings, and it becomes like an angel, like a full dude angel. It's like, where the hell did that happen?
Right.
Oh man.
Yeah, they were just kind of.
I loved how bonkers it was, though.
Yeah.
Growing up, what would be like your top 5 cartoons that you had growing up, and then are there any that as adult you really like? Because there's a lot of great adult animation as well, so kind of want to give a little bit of love to that too.
Yeah. Growing up, like Ed, Ed and Eddie, I think like hands down easily was like an all-timer for me. Loved Ed, Ed and Eddie. I always felt that like it was sort of like a more like kind of like perverted, like fucked up, like Charlie Brown kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of
like in a way, because like like it's in the same instance, like they never show like the parents or anything, and like I always was like a huge fan of like all the weird little like obscure like sound effects they would use to like kind of personify actions and stuff. Like they would do like so much weird shit in that cartoon, especially like going back and like rewatching it now. I'm like there is like some absolute just sheer absurdity happening in the sound design of the show that's like kind of brilliant. That's like I don't know, like butchering an example of like like Ed saying something stupid to like Eddie and him being confused, and then like the sound for his confusion is like a distant like eagle calling stupid shit. I'd say that I loved a lot of oh my god, dude, I'm gonna fuck his name up so bad, but the guy he did Samurai Jack. He is Gendy Tarkovsky, I think. I want to screw his name up. But like he did like Samurai Jack and like Powerpuff Girls and like Dexter's Laboratory.
When
like
he was like really young when he was creating that, wasn't he?
Yeah, like crazy young. Those were like huge favorites of mine too. I was like
those were amazing.
Yeah, I was just like a huge like Cartoon Network kid. I mean, I loved a lot of like Nickelodeon stuff too.
I connected more with Cartoon Network as well.
Yeah.
I liked Hey Arnold a lot. I like the like darker tone of Hey Arnold. Like that's kind of a darker show, really.
Yeah,
it's a lot of bullying and stuff like that,
Yeah, and just sort of like dealing with like Arnold's like family life and sort of his like living situation that feels like kind of like played up, but like in the reality of it, it's sort of like this, kind of like impoverished, like kind of like upbringing and stuff that's done very, very beautifully, I think. But yeah, that and I think like maybe like later cartoons, at least in that same, like I was a huge like I know it always like sort of comes down to like Adventure Time or Regular Show fans, but I was like a diehard like Regular Show.
I fell out by that point.
I think that might have been like 2013-ish, maybe 2012-ish. I watched a good bit of it growing up, and it's funny because I've been kind of going back and like rewatching that they've had like streams of that on like YouTube and stuff. So I just like watch like a ton of stuff like when I'm working on commissions, and I don't know if it's Cartoon Network per se, but they've just been having like loops of like Regular Show like on YouTube for free and stuff. And I'd also say too, like like when I got older, like Adult Swim, huge. I was like a huge Adult Swim head when I was like a kid, like especially like the really weird ones, like Aqua Teen Hunger Force, obviously, and then like some of the weirder, grosser ones, like 12-Ounce Mouse and like Squidbillies and like Perfect Hair Forever, like some of like the really weird like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. blocks that they would have, like. But yeah, I'd say for like formative stuff, I'd be super into that. I think for newer, like modern animations that kick ass. I don't know if you've seen it on. I think it's on HBO, but Common Side Effects.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's like one of the best shows I've seen recently. That and I think that's better. But second to that, I like the Pantheon a lot on Netflix. That was really good.
I have a lot of friends who watched Pantheon, but I need to. That's
Common Side Effects is, I think, a little better though. But God, that was a masterpiece. I can't wait for season 2, dude.
I'm super stoked on it. That was like genuinely one of the most like beautifully done visually, like animations I've seen in quite some time. I don't know if you watched his other series, Scavenger's Reign.
I want to watch it. I think you can relate. I have to have a list of stuff that I can half watch when I'm drawing and stuff, and I need stuff when I'm like full watch. Sure. That's a full watch.
Yeah.
So is Common Side Effects and Pantheon. So it's like sometimes I don't have the time for the full watch.
Yeah.
But you watch Scavenger's Reign?
Yeah, it's amazing. I think they did that one before Common Side Effects, so like the animation is still incredible. But it's not as like insane as like Common Side Effects. But you can definitely see like the where they're going with it, and I don't know if they're ever gonna make a follow-up to it. I almost kind of hope they don't, because I kind of like where the story kind of ends in like a ambiguity. But it's a heartbreaker, dude. It's a heartbreaker, but it's really good though. Yeah, I'd say like those were probably like within recent memory of like modern day animations, like just unbeatable. I couldn't recommend Common Side Effects more to watch.
And the thing is, like, animation's beautiful, but like I just really got invested in the concepts, but also the characters.
Yeah, the story feels very current. Like it's not. Yeah. It feels very similar to a lot of the things that like a lot of people are dealing with now. You know, which I think makes it like so relatable too. You know, I feel like I really connect with like the characters, and like the story is like definitely something that is you know, I think a lot of people nowadays, especially now more than ever, can relate to. You know, and just the corruptness of the world we live in right now. You know,
well, it's like it's that, but also the character that Mike Judge plays is like brilliant, because it also shows people in power that are just completely incompetent.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But like, there's kind of a humorous side to it that I liked. So I thought that character was very nuanced, and I really liked him. He made me laugh several times.
Dude, I love Mike Judge, dude. He's so
God, yes.
Did you ever see him do the voices for the characters? It's horrifying. It's terrifying, dude.
I love anything Mike Judge has done, dude. I you know what I really love too? Dude, all the new Beavis and Butthead is fucking amazing. With them being adults, they're so funny.
Dude,
I feel like it's actually, he did a knockout job.
Yeah. Dude, I love fat Butthead so much, dude. I feel like I relate to him. Like, this is probably going to be exactly how I either want to look like him or Carl from Aqua Teen, one of the two.
Oh man. What else can we talk about art wise? What do you want to chat about?
I just went to the Philadelphia Art Museum last weekend.
Nice.
I was able to catch the last day of the Surrealist exhibit.
Okay.
And they had like a ton of Salvador Dali paintings in there, and like a lot of like comprehensive history on like surrealism, which was pretty great. The only thing that sucks is that like got there kind of late, waited in line for like 2.5 hours, got in there. Me and my partner and a couple of our friends like maybe only got like 45 minutes in the exhibit until they started rushing people out. So I was like trying to like, I was being such a pain in the ass to the security guards. Like they were like screaming at me like the whole time, but I just wanted to like get in there and take it all in. I think, you know, not to undermine the state of the world, but I think with the rise of AI and all this slop garbage that we're being force fed by our stupid government, I felt like I almost felt a need to like go and like reconnect with like art again, you know what I mean? And it's like it's been and I feel foolish because like I literally live in Philadelphia. The art museum is right there, and I'm sort of ashamed of myself for not going more often. I think after going this past weekend, I'm definitely going to start going a lot more. But even just like just going in there and just like seeing, you know, like some of these classic paintings, you know, like my mom and my aunt, you know, took me to a lot of like museums like growing up, and you know, I'd never it was one of those things where it's like I never quite understood like why like my aunt would be like crying like at a painting or something, and like, you know, I definitely felt like I was like seeing some of the Salvador Dali paintings up close for the first time in a long time, and even seeing some pieces I've never seen before, like was really an emotional thing. And I think maybe just, you know, in the state of the world, felt way heavier and way more meaningful this time around going. And I don't know. I mean, it was amazing, but like also like sort of like deeply upsetting afterwards. I remember like just I left the museum and I was like almost like just I was just angry. I felt like this like rage like growing inside of me for like
it's like because like how far we've fallen as a culture, a global culture. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and it I was just angry. It was just like this rage of just like, like how, awful capitalism is, I mean, I think like this whole AI thing is just, the sign of the end times of just late stage capitalism. I could have an army of bands and tour managers and artist management screaming in my face all day about why a band having an AI merch spread is a good thing. And I will just tell them to fuck off at every single waking breath I have, because I just feel like there is nothing that screams greed and laziness and contempt for like the people, like your supporters and your fans. Like just nothing screams I hate you more than here's this fucking crap I made on like ChatGPT and threw it on a fucking t-shirt and your dumbass is gonna buy it and enjoy it and wear it and we get the money from it. It's like, what the fuck are you even doing? Like, are you even like an artist at this point? Like, do you even care? Like what, like I feel like if you're a band and you're like doing that at any stage, it's like, dude, like the dream is dead, dude. Like you've lost the plot, you've lost touch. Like there's no reason, because it is just money at the end of the day. It's money. They don't want to hire like a visual artist they don't want to spend the money to like hire somebody to make anything meaningful. And it's just, I don't know. I think there is still a lot of very smart and talented people out there that can see through it. And, I see like a lot of voices, calling out these bands and stuff like that. And, I think we just need to keep at it. And, I'm hoping that, I'm hoping that the voices of the genuine people outweigh the opposition, and I hope that we can just continue to not give up on the battle against the AI shit that's like happening. I saw somewhere too that like AMC is going to start showing.
I saw that headline.
Yeah, like
who's gonna go, dude? And the other thing is like, sorry, I'm like holding my tongue because
you're good.
The other thing is like, so basically for you guys, maybe you're aware or not, but like they're gonna have some like hours for where like AI short films can be shown, and it's like there's like a million fucking things I want to say. First of all, I 100% agree with you. So, all right, let's stay on that topic first, then I'll circle back to the other ones.
Yeah, you're good.
So, with the thing with AMC, dude, it's like some person in a boardroom who has no idea what the fuck they're doing was like, we have to have AI as part of our strategy in some ways. Like, that's our way of staying relevant. It's not. It's completely unnecessary. And the way you stay relevant is by showcasing art and doing like clever things with like your products, your food, your concessions, like what you were doing with the Dune bucket. Like just keep doing shit like that. Like that's the best option I can think of. Yeah. But like when I think of the comparison, fucking Sam Altman, the Antichrist, in my opinion, he fucking creates Sora, which is a fever dream. Yeah. Nobody is on Sora now. So that should be an indicator that this AMC thing is a terrible idea. It's completely out of touch. So not only is it it's a bad idea business wise. Like that's why it's a blunder. It's just a terrible idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
My thing right now, actually, I'm going to go in reverse order. So with the music, right?
Sure.
I still think there are some bands who just aren't as aware and they're buying AI stuff, or they're somehow getting sold it or whatever, and they're not aware. So I do have an element of grace, especially as it gets more and more complex. If you truly are doing it from a point of laziness and you're doing it with intent, shame on you. I do have a little bit of patience if somebody makes a mistake. But it's coming for your lunch too, dude. The thing is, every day, 40% of the new uploads on Spotify are all AI generated every day. So basically, Spotify, all these other platforms are now just full of AI music. And the thing is, to the naked ears, a lot of people can't tell. The AI music apps are getting much better like every week.
Yeah.
So it hasn't really infiltrated the metal scene, but there's a lot of pop stuff and a lot of the like kind of gimmicky, fun little songs are like big on TikTok, but they're AI generated. Yeah. So it's like, the thing is, if you don't unite with your visual artists, there's nothing stopping me except for my own fucking ethics and integrity. So don't think about it as me, but I could be an artist, a visual artist, and be like, I'm going to create an AI band. Like I could just do the same thing back to you.
Right.
I would not, but I'm just saying, like, it's like you have to respect one another.
Yeah.
Because it can come for you too. The thing that's driving me the most nuts is because I think most people are sick of the AI shit. Music, especially video and art. But I think it's so wrong and pathetic that there is no AI labeling or watermarking on things. And there is, but there isn't. Sure. It's like, I hate that every time I look at a piece of art, I listen to music, I have to wonder if it was AI generated. And the thing is, there's also a lot of people who aren't fully AI generating stuff. You could do a prompt, you basically have a complete reference image, and then you just draw it on a piece of paper. It's still AI generated. And I hate that. And the thing is, even like reference websites for people who are more digital, they're not making it as clear if something's AI generated or not. So you could be with intent of not using AI.
Sure.
In like a collage or something.
Yeah.
And then it actually feeds it into there. So it's just like the lack of any transparency about it is what makes everyone just doubt everything, and it undermines everything. Yeah. So I know I have like a single art that's going to come out.
Sure.
And I'm interested to see who's going to accuse me of using AI that doesn't know me at all, right?
Yeah.
Just like the comments or whatever. I'm interested to see if there will be any, because part of me doesn't blame them, because everyone feels like they're getting fooled right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you actually do things with integrity, it's like I'm getting pre-mad, but I hate that even I have to question everything. I don't want to be so skeptical all the time. It's a terrible place to be. So that's my rant. That's what bothered me today.
Bro, it fucking happened to me last year. I did a bunch of work for Kayanashi. They're like a Philly like metalcore post-hardcore band that's like pretty big. And I did a tour flyer for them, and it on some Reddit post there were just swarms of kids like all over it, just being like can't believe Kayanashi like crapped out and like did AI, like this looks so fake, and like people were getting like ugly in there, and like some people like luckily like some people who are familiar with my work finally like came to my rescue and were like no, like this is like Curly art, like on Instagram, like you can look up his work. Dude's been doing this for years. Like it's definitely not AI. And it's funny because like I went to go, I think it was that Despised Icon show that happened in Philly last year. I actually ran into their guitarist Peo, and we were kind of like talking it up about like the whole thing. He's just like, dude, can you believe that like people were saying that like your work was like AI? And I was like, dude, I know. And I was like, I'm not mad with them, but I mean, I think you're right. It's just like the kind of attitude it creates. I mean, dude, I fucking find myself, every single photo, even like artwork, photographs.
I mean, music now too, dude, because like the thing is, as a songwriter, right? Like, I'm thinking about like the assembly line of like the Nashville country music scene, right? Like they have like it down to a science to like make country hits.
Yeah.
All those producers and songwriters are kind of fucked because you can basically write the country song and then just have the really good studio players just play the AI song. No one knows it's AI, but if AI is any part of the process, it's AI generated and it takes away the honesty. So anybody out there, like, I'm sorry, but like if you use AI reference images, just don't. Yeah. Even if you're like a talented artist besides it, like don't use it as a crutch. And then songwriters, don't use it at all.
Yeah.
Okay, auto-tune, pitch correction, whatever, like that's fine. But if it's like a part of the creative process, like the ideas are not coming from you, you got to put a foot down, man, because the amount of deception just drives me nuts.
Yeah. It's a shame too with like the music stuff. I mean, I don't know what the name of the project was, but I saw like maybe like a couple of months ago. I think Sonos is the big AI music app thing.
Sonos and what's the other one? There's another one that's even bigger, I think.
Well, there was whichever one it was. Somebody had made an account, and it was like an AI, like metalcore, like octane core, like Bad Omens type thing, and it actually used the AI generated the one Devil Wears Prada album cover. Which one was it? Sorry, I'm gonna look it up right now. It was the Color Decay, and it was like literally like the exact same cover as Color Decay, but like the eyes were like fucked up and like the line work was like all goofy and stupid, but it was just like a blatant like full on rip. And I think the song, it was supposed to be a gimmick of like this is an AI generated Devil Wears Prada song, like, oh, what do you think of that, guys? Like
it's like fuck off, dude.
Like, yeah, and it sucks too because the song had 500,000 streams, and like the page itself, has like had like 1 million some monthly listeners. Now, I mean, Spotify is the most egregious for like bot farming, and I don't really trust anything from like Spotify.
They're very corrupt.
So who's to even say if like they are real listeners and not just like bot farms? But like there is, the saddest part is that there is like a percentage of people that aren't in tune with like a lot of what's happening, and probably like heard that and were just like probably heard it on, they probably snuck it on like Spotify editorial playlists, and you get people that are probably working like third shift jobs or just like whatever, that are just jamming it, and I probably think it's fucking sick and like don't even know that it's like AI. It's sad how it's just like crept in, and then also just to like blatantly just steal from like the Devil Wears Prada, just to like just not even like just completely just ripping the artwork and then like ripping like generating a song that sounds similar to it. It's just so disgusting. And
non-consensual, like let's say somebody, if you do this, fuck you, number one. But if somebody like went to your Instagram and was like, make me an AI curly art image, like that's like
I don't even want to think about. I know, because I know
it's like that's like basically assault, dude.
Yeah,
like single out somebody and then being like, bot make this, like that's I don't think sometimes people even think about that like I have no consent to do any of that.
Right.
But yeah, man. And what's the solution for me is like I just don't go online as much, or I try not to. But
right.
It's every day it's just going to get worse and worse because there's no cleanup crew for any of this shit.
Right. I mean, even just a simple Google search anymore, you get like the AI overview, and that's like already, like I hate that we're like even at a point that we're like pushing this, because I feel like it's like nobody wants this, and it's like the sort of like airhead brainless idiots that are just sort of like capitalizing on this, to just like I don't know what it is, if it's some sort of like like repressed trauma from like getting bullied by like art kids in high school or something that like turned people into like, you know, like, oh fuck you, like I'm just gonna AI generate, you know, like, you know,
I mean,
my
I
own
know,
I'm gonna make money for it. I'm gonna make twice as much money than you know, like I don't know if it's some weirdo shit like that, but
I know a lot of normies, I guess you could put it.
Yeah.
A lot of them aren't malicious at all. And I'm telling you, there is a shift in like every month, the anti-AI sentiment gets stronger. It really does.
Yeah.
Like people don't like it. And it's not just the internet experience. All these data centers, a lot of them are going up in like rural areas, pretty, you know, mostly red state areas.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing because now you have a little bit more bipartisan anti-AI from a political standpoint. On a just societal,
Yeah.
every month it's going to get stronger and stronger. And then there's going to be a tipping point. I don't want to go all fucking existential, but like basically, if the promises that these AI companies say is actually going to happen and everyone's going to be out of their job, that's going to be a very chaotic world. Yeah. And if it's all just bullshit, then we're in a giant global recession.
Yeah, I mean it's
a lose-lose.
It is, you know. I mean, literally nobody benefits from this. I mean, except maybe like the idiots that are, you know, bringing this like into fruition. But you know, it makes me happy to know it's like my parents are very old. Like my parents like had me when they were like older. So like, you know, my dad's like, you know, about to be 70 soon, and my mom's, you know, getting up there also. But for them being old, like they're really, I'm happy to know that they're like in touch with like knowing what's AI and shit. I literally just called my mom the other day and we were yapping about it, and my mom's like completely against it and thinks it's like disgusting, you know. And it's like it makes
my parents.
It makes me happy to know that they're at least, you know, like in touch and like knowing. And I know that there's like, you know,
people like don't want to be fooled.
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to,
stupid,
man.
You know, they think we're completely stupid, but we're not. You know, that there are still like smart people out there. So I'm hoping that like people just stay smart and stay energetic about, you know, fighting against this shit, you know. And I think you're right. I think it will like cave in eventually. I mean, I know they lost like $14 billion in open AI. You know, it's just like nobody wants this. Nobody needs this. I'm sure that there probably are some like uses for it in like technologies, you know, but like leave it the fuck out of visual art and music, and just leave it get it away from like the arts, dude. It's the one place it's severely not needed. Yeah,
make my Excel spreadsheet function better. Okay, fine, whatever.
Fine, you know.
Yeah.
Sorry for ranting or like going on.
Oh no, dude, this is
that, dude. It's just like I don't know.
Now the viewers know why we're looking so fondly back to 2009, dude.
I know, yeah, right. Take me back, dude. Take me back, dude. I saw the meme of like the waking up from like a coma or like amnesia or something. Open AI, what, dude? Bro, we're about to go see I Set My Friends on Fire. Come on, dude, do it. Wake up, bro.
Oh, that's funny. I do wonder about people who've like been in prison a long time and are like leaving prison and then they're coming back to this. That would be so jarring.
Yeah, well, my mom. Sorry to keep talking about my mom. My mom's great. She's a social worker, but she also worked in the prison system for a while, and she worked in like offices in Graterford prison, but she worked with like in life or lifers, you know, people serving life sentences and stuff like that, and like, you know, worked with people that were in prisons for like, you know, decades and stuff, and they had like a whole like reintegration like program and stuff like that about, you know, like getting these guys like prepped and ready to like re-entry into the real world. And it's funny because my mom was just like, I'm about to take one of those courses too because I barely understand what's going on.
Fair enough, man.
Like I could benefit from going to one of these classes and learn.
I was just reading, you know, Shawshank Redemption, so it came top of mind for me. But I'm sure we'll keep talking about art, but you want to show some art and kind of tell some stories?
Yeah, dude, absolutely.
All right, let's do it. So with any of these, you know, how it came to be, challenges in the process, what you're happy with. So anything's fair game.
Yeah, with Blood Comes Cleansing, man, this was a pretty big one for me because you know, going back to the whole, you know, Myspace like deathcore thing. You know, I was like super into them, and I always felt that like with Blood Comes Cleansing, always had like really impactful like album artwork, like Golgotha and Horror were really awesome. I still love those album covers so much, and I find myself going back to them a lot for like inspiration. Excuse me. Yeah, Jeremy, their guitarist, reached out to me about this, and this was their big comeback album, which was like a huge honor for me because like it's crazy like working like. I think it's just like my love for this era of music is a very, like I said, it's a very cherished and very important thing to me, and like it's been very surreal to kind of work with these bands now, you know, like I
can imagine, yeah.
Because like, you know, like growing up, you know, it's like my whole bedroom is like plastered with cutouts from like AP magazine, and like I would, you know, print out a lot of these like album covers and stuff of deathcore bands and shit. And so my room is like literally plastered with, you know, all of these images all the time, you know. So it gets really crazy when like, you know, these bands, you know, like hit me up, you know, like decades later to sort of carry in like their new era. But they're with Blood Comes Cleansing is like they were like a Christian deathcore band, similar to like Impending Doom, in that whole like era. And Jeremy had a really beautiful concept he came to me with, where it's the story of the 7 martyrs, and kind of just gave me like a, you know, a loose outline about like, you know, like, hey, like we want to do something that sort of like tells the story of the tale of the martyrs in unison, something that's like a general like kind of idea. So I was doing some research on it, and doing some looking into like some theology and stuff, and I don't know if it's for every martyr, and I don't know exactly which name it was, because this album, I think it's like 7 songs or 8 songs, and like each song is like named after one of the martyrs. So I don't know if it's like each one, but one of them I think is like flayed, like their skin is flayed, and when he dies, a dove like comes out of his mouth as he dies and like flies away. And I thought that imagery is just awesome and beautiful. So I kind of wanted to create like this withered tree, sort of representing like the corporeal flesh. All the martyrs were like killed in like horrendous ways and like tortured, and I kind of wanted to like create like a tree that was sort of screaming in anguish, and you know, skull like a symbol of death, the death of like the human flesh, and the doves being the martyrs, essentially like flying out of the mouth of the deceased. And yeah, I sent it to Jeremy, and he was absolutely head over heels for it. I was super stoked on it. A lot of the times, like I work with bands, and like a lot of time bands already like have like kind of a concept in mind. It's like I wouldn't say it's like a super rare thing that they kind of just let me off my leash a little bit to just kind of fool around. And this was like one of those like covers that I was like really, really stoked on. And then the design next to it was like the accompanying shirt design for it too. I think that was for what was the clothing brand? Kingdom Core. I think they do like a lot of Christian death metal bands and Christian metalcore bands that are still kind of killing it. And yeah, I was just it's one of my favorite album artwork pieces, I think, that I've like illustrated over the years. Just also too, because like the concept's beautiful. I wouldn't say that like I don't know. It sort of hit home for me a little bit too, because it's like, you know, like I said too, like kind of like growing up in like Christian household and like kind of like revisiting like a lot of that kind of stuff and like the imagery too. And I guess kind of like within the realm of the whole like nostalgia, like the whole like Christ core thing, like back in like the early 2000s
That was huge.
Huge thing, you know, which is funny because you know, a lot of the a lot of like the artwork and stuff from like Solid State and like Tooth and Nail records and stuff, you know, like growing up, I know it's the one of the members or both of the members from like Demon Hunter, but like they did like all the artwork for Solid State records and like a lot of like the Christian bands and stuff like that. So like I would like just collect the CDs just for that, you know. But yeah, I was sort of like going back and like channeling a lot of that kind of stuff. I'm really big on like buying references and stuff, like big physical media guy, you know. I love like going to like old like record stores and like trying to find like old like metalcore CDs and stuff like that, because some of the design layouts for like that kind of thing are like amazing. Like old I don't know who does a lot of the artwork for like August Burns Red, but like their like graphic design like layouts and stuff,
they've always been on point.
Yeah, except for the one shitty AI cover they did, but outside of that,
I don't even know where. I was just thinking back to like growing up.
But they're
there's one with like the wrecked car. That one looked really cool.
Yeah, Leveler. Like Leveler, Leveler was like a big influence for like this for this cover. Just sort of channeling, you know, like 2000 early 2000s kind of like metalcore vibe, but like still kind of giving it like a fresher look and sort of take on it. But yeah, super grateful to Jeremy and the guys for having me on this one. This was like definitely like a huge like full circle moment for me, like getting to do this. Like this was like one of those where it was just like, shit, I'm actually doing the thing right now. Like, you know, I'm working on this piece and like doing the line work and like just thinking back to like my bedroom at my parents' house and like
it was like the best commissions when like when you're not only just really happy with the result, but like it actually is a band that like means a ton to you, and not only that, the people that you're interacting with are really nice. So it's like you got the trifecta. You love the band, the people end up being cool, and the art's cool. That's like, it's hard to top that.
Yeah, dude, that's
like the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, it's hitting all the walls, man. You know, like it's crazy because like, you know, I go back and like think about, you know, like I literally had like Horror and Golgotha, like the album artworks like printed out like up on my wall and shit. You know, like you know, it's stuff like that. You know, where it's like it's crazy, and then to like just like be friends, you know, like with these people too, and like, you know, working with them, dude. Yeah, it's like you said, it's the best.
That's awesome, dude. From a technical perspective, what tools are you using primarily? What's your
dude, honestly, I gotta it's sort of it's a bittersweet kind of thing because like, you know, a lot of my older works and some of the stuff we're probably going to talk about, I can show you some more, but recently it's just been all digital. I used to like hate ew oh my god, ew, I hate saying that.
But that's all digital?
Yeah, I used to like do a lot more pen and ink like by hand, and oh god, I hate saying that. For like a lot of designs, but I recently I think I made the switch like back in like 2018, I think is when I got like my first like tablet or drawing tablets, and not a Cintiq, but I use like a XP pen, 25-inch canvas, digital canvas thing. And that's pretty much what I've mainly been using. Now I still do like rough sketches by hand. Like I do like I don't have the sketch on me, but both of these designs were like rough sketched, and then like just using my phone, take a picture of it, and then throwing it like into Photoshop and
okay.
doing like the line work and like color work from there. But dude, dude, that's crazy. I mean,
you can change. I mean, it's not too late, dude.
no, I know. Because dude, I mean, you are like the pen goat, dude. You are like the pen and line work goat. You know, I gotta, yeah, dude. But yeah, I know one of the questions on the thing you sent me was the areas of improvement for your art. So definitely getting back in touch with it. It's so funny, man, because it's like, you know, I feel like I'm working so hard all the time and just like kind of grinding it out, you know, in a lot of ways that it's like I don't even like, you know, it's like I don't even like think about it. Like sometimes, you know, it's just kind of sort of I get like so involved in like the pieces and I'm just like jamming it out. But
well, it's a good thing, man. You're in production mode.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to say no when a good opportunity comes? I mean,
oh yeah. Yeah. And I will say too, I think like my vision like kind of isn't like always the best, I think. So like using my XP pen, you know, tablet, it helps a lot because I feel like I can get like really close and like up close with like the details and stuff like that. You know, like it's still there. But yeah, I feel like I just gotta get back in touch with like actual like inking again.
Hey man, you got this. All right, so we got some cartoon.
Hell yeah.
So what do you call this type of thing? You have like a term you use, right?
Yeah, I was calling it like slime core at the very beginning when I was kind of like doing it like consistently, but I've kind of just changed it to cartoon monster merch. I think is like kind of rolls a little bit better. Yeah, this is kind of like the mainstay, dude. Like this is kind of like the that's
what a lot of people come to you for.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, and it wasn't even like intentionally meant to be that way. I think it kind of just like was one of those things that kind of just snowballed and just kind of like turned into like
yeah, I could see that happening. It's just one band's on tour and then they're seeing that all those shirts sell so well, then another band's like, okay, I got to get that guy. That's what I imagine's happening because I've seen the like patterns. Because there's a lot of times it's a touring group.
Right.
I just think it's cool, man.
Yeah. It's funny too, dude, when it's like sometimes now it's like tour packages and there's like, you know, 3 bands on the bill that like all have, like designs done by me at the merch table. You know, like bands I didn't even know were like touring or even were like using the design. It's funny, dude. Yeah. Big shout outs to Lorna Shore and Big Ass Truck. Yeah, dude, it's just one of those things where it's kind of just, you know, like mixing like the humor and the darkness together, like, and you know, like I get like DMs all the time of just like, you know, so sometimes we'll bounce ideas like back and forth on each other, and then like sometimes people will just come to me with like crazy like ridiculous, you know, like
they're usually suggesting the actual cartoon though.
Yeah.
They're like Ren and Stimpy, and then like, what are they doing? Is it kind of like that? Then you back and forth.
Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of just like we want to just have like a really crazy off the wall Ren and Stimpy, you know, go nuts with it, but we just want it to be like ridiculous and like over the top and like perverted and offensive, you know, like which is funny because, you know, I feel like it's sort of like reflective of like, you know, a lot of the like my own interests and like a lot of the like things that like, you know, like I grew up with, and, you know, like or at least like a lot of like the shirt designs and like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I always feel like it's like these shirts are always like great at like merch booth sale. Like it's always like sort of the I'm always feeling like when people commission me, it's like I'm always trying to like imagine myself like at a show and imagining like me like at the merch booth and like what kind of design would like pull me in, or, you know, and I think that's like one of the things that like I enjoy the most is that, you know, it's like, again, going back to what I was saying about just like how it was more of like a carefree kind of era. And, you know, like for a band that's like super serious, like Lorna Shore, to have like something vibrant and colorful and like goofy like works so well, you know, because like I mean all those guys are like great, Austin Archie is the fucking man. And you know, like even he was saying, you know, telling me about how like, yeah, like we just need something that's like vibrant and colorful, and we need something that's like, you know, fun to like pull, you know, people in. And you know, I ended up like doing like 7 or 8 designs with like Lorna Shore. I think there's like
That's
2 or 3 more pieces that aren't even out yet. I keep checking. There's like an Instagram account called Merch Report.
Oh yeah, I follow it. Yeah,
I'm like,
because I'm always waiting for, you know, it's like when can I drop my, you know, design?
right. Because you did a bunch of work for Death Heaven, right?
Death Heaven, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I love that that flyer piece you did for them. It's beautiful.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah. I got one other one that is like a really big band that I know I'm gonna have to keep an eye on Merch Report.
Yeah. Tell me off camera.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. Dude, I just think it's like the business part of my brain is like really interested in it, because it's like Lorna Shore, big band, right? They got to have like 15 different designs. They got like their more graphic design center. Like they, I think his name's like Zach Schiffler. He did like their art, if I'm not mistaken. He has a really good graphic design sense, you know? Yeah. Like, so they'll have that style where it's like that kind of look. But then there's always going to be that one person who loves Ren and Stimpy, or like just they like the more humorous shirt. So then they go and buy this. So like it must be a good seller. And like that's the part about illustration that like maybe more people don't think about, is like at the end of the day, we are producing commercial products. Like we want to have fun and we want it to mean something, right? But like you could be an in-demand artist because you make somebody more money, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's like something to me is like pretty fucking badass.
Yeah.
If that's, you know, so I just think that's really cool.
Well, and then also too, like, you know, we were talking earlier about, you know, like people, you know, not being, or people being ashamed of like where they came from, you know, musically. And I know we'll get to it or eventually on this, but like even like some of the work that I've done for like Sanguisugabogg, you know, like Devin, you know, all of these guys are scene kids, you know, like they're all scene kids, like they're all like they know what's up. Like
I like that Devin owns it. I've heard him in multiple interviews. He has no shame. That guy's cool.
Yeah, and you know, similarly with like Lorna Shore, you know, I mean, like you know, Austin, I think I'm pretty sure he was one of the founding members, or at least he's been in the band like long enough. Like even when that band was like back in like 2012, I think, or, you know, around that time. So like, you know, merch like this, like isn't like a foreign concept to him, you know, and I'm sure like, you know, as like merch trends and stuff like come and go, you know, I'm sure that there's like, you know, he definitely gets it, you know what I mean? And it's like, they probably were like, you know, like, yeah, let's have like some, you know, kind of like a throwback or like a shirt that's sort of like a callback to like that kind of stuff. Cause it's not only just like nostalgic for like the people buying it, but it's like for the band too. And it's cool too, because it's just like, you know, it may feel like it's, you know, just like Ren and Stimpy doing drugs and like murdering each other on the shirt, but you know, it's also like, you know, it's you know, it speaks to like the band's interest too, and you know, like I don't know if it's like everybody in Lorna Shore, but you know, it's just like oh, you know, like I loved you know, Ren and Stimpy like growing up. It was like one of my favorite cartoons, you know, so you do sort of get like that personal taste of like, you know, like the band's interest that I try to like cater to, or like, you know, like try to be like paying attention to, you know, so that there is like, it is like a bit more like thoughtful, like Big Ass Truck, you know, or like huge Transformers guys, you know, and some of the, you know, some of the bands that like hit me up are like really excited about it, you know, just being like, dude, like love Transformers, you know, I want to have like you know, like a crazy like Optimus Prime like fucking everybody up, just like, you know, mangling Megatron and, you know, like whatever, you know, because I think too, like, you know, a lot of these guys, you know, are nerds and nostalgic and, you know, kind of like sort of thing, you know, so it's sort of like it's kind of beautiful in a way, you know, like sort of just like this mutual, you know, I feel very honored that I sort of like get to kill their childhoods a little bit.
Well, I will say this too though, like I think this stuff's harder than people realize, like good cartooning and even just like coming up with these concepts, I couldn't do what you do. Like I don't have the brain for it. Like it's maybe because like art and sense of humor, like I do a little bit of it every once in a while, but it's it's obviously going to be different. It's me, but like you capture that humor and the energy so well. I don't think sometimes people realize like that's it's difficult. You know what I mean? Like you try doing it. It's way harder than you think, because like how often is it like an insult to be like, oh, that looks a little cartoony as an artist? But it's like, actual cartooning is way harder than you think.
Yeah.
So that's my other thing.
Dude, yeah, absolutely. I think I'm just like also like very brain rotted too. Like I think, I think like ever since I was like a kid, like I mean like I grew up like watching cartoons. Like I grew up in the middle of the fucking country in a fucking goofball ass farmhouse. Like with no friends, just watching like cartoons at like fucking nauseum, and then like especially like Adult Swim too. Like Adult Swim did like severe psychic damage to like my development. Like growing up, I think like I don't know, like I like Aqua Teen Hunger Force is like one of those things where like I'll watch that and like piss myself like laughing at it, and it's like some shit where it's like some of my some normie friends I have will watch it and just being like completely straight faced like crying laughing, so it's like I kind of like, and I think too like maybe I probably should go to therapy at some point, but I think maybe it's also been sort of like a weird kind of like coping, trying to find like the humor and like the misery of like everyday life, and I think like putting these like, at least when I was doing it, I know like a lot of people kind of are kind of doing similar stuff, but I think at least for me, it's like, I think that there's sort of like this humor in like, putting these like innocent cartoons and these like ultra violent like horrible kind of things. Maybe it says a lot. Maybe I should go to therapy, dude. Maybe I'm trying to work something out like subconsciously through these like designs, but yeah, I don't know, like the I
mean technically they're the ones commissioning you, so they need to go to therapy as well.
Right, yeah, maybe we should have just like a group therapy. Me and the band should go and like sit down. I'd say out of these, the one I had the most fun on, I think, was the Body Box one.
Beavis and Butthead. Nice.
Yeah, because he had they had approached me and were just like, oh, we just want like a Butthead, but as like Scarface. And
is it the vocalist?
What's
his name? That guy's pretty funny, man. I've seen some interviews with him.
He's really funny. He's a good guy. I'm blanking. I've been up for like 3 days straight. My brain is probably
no excuses, dude. You're supposed to know his name.
No, I'm just awful.
But yeah, all right. So he said it's Scarface. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, but it was funny because like he didn't have like anything like beyond that. So like I was kind of like just thinking like trying to figure out how I could like incorporate like Beavis into it, and then like just turning Beavis into like a bunch of cockroaches, like all like starting coke, and then like I think some of them are like getting like smashed or like fucked up like on the desk and stuff. Like that one was like a lot of fun, and I think that design did really well for them, which I'm like super glad about. I gotta hit up it's funny too because it's like I see so many of these designs out from bands, and it's like the hardest part is like trying to like either go to the shows to like try and collect them or try and get like people. Like I'm always like frantically like texting people like all the time and being like, hey, if you're going to the show, like can you pick this up for me, or like like I'm trying to like collect like
all the designs.
All of them, yeah. But
I mean, how many shirt designs do you think you've done, dude? I mean, you're probably going on like 70, 80.
Way least. More than that, man. Way more. Because like there's like, which I didn't even like get a chance to like add, but I sort of wear like a lot of faces when it comes to like artwork and stuff, and I have like a whole body of work. This is the other thing. The other self-improvement thing as an artist is like I do have a lot of like graphic designy centric photo collage kind of shirts that I've done for like other bands too, so that there's probably well into the 100.
But it's not the like Curly Art brand. Is that kind of why you don't post those?
It's like the secret sauce. It's like the Curly Art secret menu. I only because for me, like when I'm doing like the pen and ink work, like I'm very much like a people pleaser, and like I will grind out like revisions. Not that I really get them a whole lot on bands, but like when I'm working in the more graphic design centric stuff, like I don't offer any revisions like at all. Like I tell people that I'm like, hey, like if you really want me to do that, like I'm not like whatever design you get for me is gonna be it, because like I think I kind of like put myself into like a different headspace. Like Soulkeeper, they're one of my very good friends, and they've kind of a lot of like the graphic design stuff. Like I kind of just saved for like my music project stuff, or like a lot of like Zombie Shark stuff is like sort of the time that I kind of like flex like a lot of the graphic design stuff. I think it's more so of like a interpersonal challenge to me to kind of like push myself to step completely out of like my main realm of like work and stuff. And I know Soulkeeper like have been like big fans of like my music and art, and they see like a lot of the stuff I do for my music project that they want me to do for their band. And most of the time when I'm like doing that stuff is like, it's very much like straightforward, like just like this is how it's gonna be, because I have to put myself into like such a different like headspace for like kind of like working on that kind of stuff, like versus it. And it's like it's sort of one of those things where it's like I kind of gatekeep it for myself like a little bit. Like very few bands that like, unless they're like close friends of mine, is sort of like when I kind of like do it. But I'm feeling a lot more comfortable in it, where I feel like I could probably go and like advertise it more, but it also feels like more of like like I don't know, like if a band hit me with like a 9-mile long list of revisions on like a photo collage thing, like I would probably end up like Peter Griffin. Shouts out the Bog, dude. Shouts out Devin for hitting me up. I've done I think 6.
You've done a lot of work for them.
Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to refrain from saying 6, 7, but probably 6.
God, you are brain rotted, dude.
Dude, I feel like this might be like an obtuse reference, but like I kind of feel like do you ever see the movie Akira?
Yes.
Whenever he's like walking on the street and he gets that ping in his head.
Oh yeah.
Like, every time like I catch myself saying like 6, 7, it's just like I feel like I throb like in the side of my temple.
Yeah, I feel you there. Oh, that's funny. Any other like funny stories with working with Devin or any of these bands?
Just, I mean, he's very he I don't know if he'll watch this or not, but he he reminds me of like working with like what I would imagine like working with like Nathan Explosion would be from like he's always been a man of very few words.
Oh, that's funny.
We worked together, except for one time we talked, and I think we were geeking about like Myspace, like kind of like deathcore designs and stuff like that. And I think the first design I did for them was the Monsters Inc. design, and I remember we were geeking about. I know it feels like a million years ago, but I remember that was like the first one, because he was like, I remember he was like beefing with like, not beefing, but he was like scrapping with the band over like trying to get like goofy or merch designs or like something funny.
Yeah.
And I think I was like the first person, because I think they mostly work with Maury Bund, which shouts out. Yeah, Tannen's the fucking man. He's the goat.
Yeah, I figured you guys must be friends.
Yeah, dude, we talk every now and again. He's the man.
Cool, dude.
Yeah, dude, his work and output is like fucking incredible, and he is just genuinely such like a sincere and like good guy, and like it's really hard to come by, I think, like in music scene spaces and stuff like that. But I know he does like a ton of work for him, and I know it's sort of like split down the middle, because like sometimes Bog will reach out to me for like work and stuff, but no, it's funny because Devin's like just such, at least like with what every time like I've associated with him, he's like always been like short, like I'll send him a design like stressing out over a rough sketch and just being like, all right, dude, like how do you think about this rough sketch? And he'd just be like sick, and I'll be like, all right, I'm like, are we good to like like move on to like inking and line work? And I'll just get hit with like a thumbs up. And I'll like do the whole thing and I'll send it to him, stressing out. Like I remember being like stressed out about the Family Guy design and just being like, God Christ, I hope he likes this. And I like sent him the color version. He's just like, this is great. Send it over. I'm like, cool. Dope, dude. Yeah, sick.
There are some guys that are, it's like they are really ecstatic about it, but like it's not the same as the person creating it. You know what I mean? They got their own things that they're thinking about, or they are just brief. But I've had clients like that too. But the thing is, they're so easygoing. Yeah, because they don't really ask for revisions or anything.
Dude, yeah, I mean, I fuck with it. You know, like I think that's always like this realm of work that we're in, dude. You know, is like I feel like it's similar to like tattooing or something. You know, where it's like, you know, the only time I feel like it's difficult is when people like who don't know what they want kind of approach you about things. You know, it's like it's not like you know, like Devin clearly researched my work before hitting me up. Like he knew what he was signing up for. He knew what he was, you know, commissioning me for, you know, and was gonna, you know, like the product, you know, because he knew what he wanted. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, so yeah, you know, like I'm always like super down with that. You know, that's the only time it's like sometimes, you know, like you get bands where it's just like you know, it's just kind of like, oh, you're like an art guy, dude. Why don't you like, it doesn't look anything like how it does in my head, idiot. Fucking fix, dude. What are you fucking doing, dude? You know, like, why can't you just read my fucking mind, you fucking ass, dude? Fucking do it over, bro.
Like, oh my god. Dude, it's always small band shit. It's always small band shit. Well, it's because it's like the bass player wants a serious design, but then the vocalist wants a funny design. It's like, no, you get two designs. You can't. You can't do both in one. You know.
Bassist John like fucking said that like it looks fucking weird. Can you like fix it, dude? Like I tried to like show this to him, and he's just kind of like, bro, like what do you? Like, can you just make it like not weird, dude? Thanks, dude. Also, we need this like today. If you can like get this done like right now, dude. Like,
oh my god,
craziness. It's not always, I'm definitely doing a little projecting. It's not always like that, but
oh no,
you work in the field long enough, dude. You know, you kind of get some war stories. You know.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. All right, so we got some more examples. I'm not familiar with the band on the left there. Who is that?
The Penguin one.
Yeah.
That's Thus Spoke Zarathustra. They're
okay.
They're like an upcoming melodic deathcore band. Like they're really fucking sick. Their vocalist Andy is the fucking man.
Cool.
They kind of, I think they're, God, dude, I sound like such a piece of shit. I'm pretty sure they're from like the New Jersey, Philly area, South Jersey area. They kind of broke out. There's been like a whole like deathcore revival. I mean, it's been happening for a while, but I think now more than ever, there's like a lot of
there's like these young kids that are like, they literally dress like we did when we were fucking like, dude, 16, dude. There's that band Revenant or whatever.
Yeah,
they literally look just like they came out of 2009, dude. It's crazy.
Their vocalist, like he looks like he could be like the reincarnation of Mitch Lucker or something. I mean, he's got like the whole, like the vibe, the image, the vocals, the build for it, and like all like the whole band is just absolutely cracked out. Like just, you know, they understand the assignment. Would love to work with them.
Girl, was it Girl of Glass? I like that project.
Yeah, Girl of Glass.
She's in Corpse Pile too, right? Isn't it the same guy? Yeah. I like that EP, dude. That shit was good.
Yeah, they're musical geniuses. I did some work for Girl of Glass too, which I'm like super stoked on.
Is that out?
Yeah, it was out. I think I did. I think it was last Christmas. They did like a December tour, and I did a flyer of the Grinch blowing Santa's head off, blowing Santa's shit smooth off.
That's nice.
But yeah, like Thus Spoke Zarathustra is really awesome. But like they're kind of more like a lot of like the newer deathcore bands are like just all like crazy breakdowns, but Zarathustra is like they're more like melodic death metal, melodic deathcore, like kind of like Crimson Armada or like As Blood Runs Black. Like they got fucking riffs, and they're like tight too. Like
it's got a little bit of that like At the Gates core kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's like the mellow death. Yeah.
That design I was super stoked on too, because I actually don't really tend to take on like a lot of logo commissions. and they didn't even ask for that. Like they already had a logo, which looks fucking cool, but I was really in the bag on this design, and I kind of just wanted to, like, their name is already just like insane. So I just cool. Like started working on it, and I was like, you know what? Like I was like, I haven't done like I haven't banged out like a deathcore logo in a hot minute. And I'm like, that's, you know, I was just sort of like flexing.
Kind of reminds me like a snowflake, like a death metal snowflake. Kind of
yeah. I was super stoked on it too. They like they're another band that just Andy just fucking gets it. Like he's just like, you know, he's just like, yeah, we want something that's sort of like a MySpacey design that isn't like a cartoon parody. Mm-hmm. You know, just sort of harkening back to like just sort of that like early MySpace, like absurd, like just crazy, you know. And I was just kind of like, I was working on it, and I was like, penguins are a very like MySpacey type animal, like penguins and like
platypuses,
narwhals, platypus.
No, yeah. Narwhals for sure. Narwhals were like fucking taken over by emos, dude.
Oh, dude, I set my friends on fire. I don't think.
Oh the little narwhal. Yeah. I didn't like that band, but yeah, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
I think
because they did like the crunkcore stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I was, dude, I'm a big I set my friends on fire guy. I don't even think most of the population even knew what a narwhal was until that album came out. Honestly, like what that band has done for the narwhal population, narwhal conservation.
They brought it on the map. Oh, that's funny.
For marine biology across the planet, dude. You know, so that band did fucking wonders.
God, that's like a Hard Times article right there, dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, like local.
That's
band.
Funny.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, yeah, that one was super fun. The Signs of the Swarm one.
I love you did the Haunter Eyes. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, well that one they didn't even ask me for that one. I think commissions were just a bit slow for me in 1 week, and I had that sketch done for a while. Like sometimes like which I'm again throw it on the pile of things to do better in 2026. Every now and again, like if I have like a lull period or something, like I'll just like jam out like some concepts or ideas. And I think I was getting pretty baked one night and rewatching some old Pokemon, and I think I watched that episode of that whole Haunter Gengar haunted house episode, which it was one of my favorites. And excuse me. Haunter being like one of my favorite Pokemon of all time, you know, I was just kind of like, you know, just sketching some out. I'm like, yeah, dude, just like all, you know, the whole evolution of Gengar, Haunter, Ghastly getting ripped off of the Galarian Weezing, which is already such like a ridiculous, like that design of that Pokemon was literally just begging to be turned into a bomb. Like,
they really were, man.
Like, I was kind of shocked nobody did that already or like had that idea. And I'm like, every time I saw that Pokemon, it was like me and my buddies like have like a little group chat, and you're just like talking about it. And I'm like, what do you do after smoking this? I'm just like sending like a picture of like the Galarian Weezing. So like, so yeah, that one was good. And I just like, I banged it out like in a day. And I'm really good friends with Signs of the Swarm's management now. And I literally just did it in a day.
Brad, right?
Yeah, Brad. Yeah, dude, Brad is a fucking madman, dude. He's a nut. I love him. I just sent it to him, and I was like, hey, do you think the guys would want this? And he just said back, yes. Like, I was like, cool, bet. Print, that's a wrap. And then the Peeling Flesh one was sort of interesting. So I do, as far as like my graphic design work kind of goes, I also want to give like a huge shout out to Pincore. Joey Baumgarten, he knows, he's also like tight with like Brad and Silverback Gorilla Records, and Pincore. I've worked with them for almost like 7 years now, probably. He pretty much does like, he's like a boutique like enamel pin company, and he does like collaborations with like a shitload of bands, and like does these really gorgeous, beautiful, amazing high quality enamel pins. And he's been grinding this company out forever. And, you know, I started off just sort of like periodically doing like design work for his like ad graphics and stuff. And up until recently, he's started to really take off with it, and he's been getting like a lot bigger like band commissions and like collaborations. So I've been very fortunate enough to be a part of like a lot of these like collaborations, and one of them was with Peeling Flesh. And to coincide, Joey was also doing like an Art the Clown. Like I just did like a little cartoon, like enamel pin, like Art the Clown. And he's like, okay, well, we're going to have this pin coincide with like, let's do an Art the Clown design for for Peeling Flesh. And, you know, there's already been like a ton of designers out there, you know, like doing the Art the Clown, you know. And I think for this one, I kind of just wanted to have fun with like him, like, killing a bunch of like famous clowns, but I wanted it to be like, I wanted to put some like oddball picks in there too. Like I have Violent J from Instant Clown Posse around the neck, and then I've got a Sean Clown Slipknot in the back, which a lot of people didn't even know who that was, which kind of like broke my heart. I literally put the drumstick through the eye, and like people were just like, who's that? But I just want to do like a fun, like sort of like mashup that I feel like some other like designers kind of weren't like tapping in. It isn't like super like groundbreaking or anything, but I always kind of like when designs have like little obscure references in it, or just like little kind of niche things like tucked away in there that, you know, again, it's like other things that like, you know, like somebody just programming like an AI prompt like wouldn't even, you know, begin to think of, you know, or something, you know, and just be like, oh, Art the Clown killing other clowns, you know, and yeah. So I don't know. That was
and it looks like a polished turd.
Yeah, it just looks like fucking crap. But yeah, that one I was super stoked. I didn't even know that one was like initially going to go to Peeling Flesh. I just know like Joey was just like, hey, like we're gonna have an Art the Clown design, and then he told me it was going to Peeling Flesh, and I was like, oh fuck yeah, dude. I was like, let's do it, you know. It's just yeah, it's crazy, and I think that also did really well for them also, which I'm glad. I always love hearing like the designs like doing well, like in passing for them, you know. And maybe it's just because of like my own like self-doubt and like kind of shit, you know, or it's just like, you know, sometimes it's one of those niche things, dude, where it's like sometimes people get it, most people get it, but then a lot of people don't, you know. And I'm always like worried about like those pockets of people that like aren't with it, or don't get the humor in it, or don't, you know, like it kind of just goes over their head a little bit, you know. Different strokes for different folks, but you know, it's like when a design does come together that's sort of like goofy and crazy like that, I'm always like very humbled to know that like, you know, it's doing well for them, and like people will kind of see the light, you know.
Absolutely.
Yay. This one, so I wanted to add this in here because I also felt bad that I didn't have like any kind of like early work to share. This was my first like really like major commission that that kind of snowballed me into doing what I do now. Kurt Travis, this isn't like so much like metal, but sort of leaning into like post-hardcore space. Kurt Travis used to be one of the vocalists of Dance Gavin Dance, like way back on like their early albums. And I was in high school a big fan of them, like back then. Pretty much whenever Kurt Travis had left the band, I think maybe like 2011, I think was like sort of the fall off for me. But I was like a huge fan, like one of my childhood heroes growing up. And it was sort of crazy. I had initially gotten my start doing album artwork for my buddy's metalcore band in high school called Ascent Like Wolves, who ended up doing like a lot of like they got pretty far for what they were, and like where they were going, and they did really well for themselves. They ended up breaking up over 2020. And I always feel bad because I feel like they were a band that like definitely were about to be something, but it was one of those things where it's like pandemic really like screwed them up. But but the sketch on the left was just something I had drawn back home. It was just like a sketch, just like these weird like sea monster like kind of things. And I remember having it on my Instagram and never really thinking anything of it. And my buddy's band, Ascent Like Wolves, when Kurt Travis left Dance Gavin Dance, he was in a band called A Lot Like Birds, just like post-hardcore emo.
I know that.
Yeah,
That first record's really good.
yeah. Conversation piece, I think. Or
Yeah. I was big into that early college.
Yeah, dude. They were huge. I mean, I love that band. Anything Kurt Travis was in, I was a huge diehard follower. And my buddy's band opened for them. And my one of my best friends, literally my fucking brother, fucking met Kurt Travis at the bar, and they were chopping it up. And Kurt had saw some of the artwork that I had done for Sound Like Wolves, and he was asking him about, like, who did it. So he pulled up my Instagram and showed him that sketch, and Kurt like ended up loving the sketch. And this was like something that I had done like a year prior. It was like it was already like buried somewhere in my parents' house. I think it probably either gotten like thrown away or something, but I was in college at the time. I was just like a freshman in college at Delaware College of Art and Design. And my buddy Alex was literally just like, hey man, I gave Kurt Travis your phone number. He's going to reach out to you and like, hit you up for work. And I was like fucking losing my mind over it. And he finally calls me, and, a very young and impressionable B is like losing my fucking mind. He originally wanted to just use that piece as like the album cover for Everything Is Beautiful. And, I told him, I'm like, dude, like, I do not have this like at all. I don't even know where to begin to look for this. Like, this was just like a random, fucking thing. So, he was just like, he's like, okay, well, like, what would it, like, could we like recreate it, in some way? And I was super stoked on it. So the design on the right ended up being the cover. And this was actually, as I was saying about like going back to like inking and line work, I actually did the whole thing in like quill pen, which was pretty intense. I think I did do some like some later like editing in like Photoshop, but I remember just like grinding this out for like a week straight, just pretty much like revamping the cover and everything. And I think at Kurt Travis's peak, like this was his first solo album that he had done, because I think he had released a couple of EPs prior. And Kurt just has like a really cult fan base of like diehard fans. And I remember that came out, and that was like the first like real big project. Like it was, I don't know if it was on, I think it was on Rise Records, I think. And the Blue Swan Records, which I think was like the Dance Gavin Dancy's self-produced label thing, I think. And yeah, it sort of snowballed me from there, because like up until that point, like I wasn't doing artwork for anyone else except my friends' bands, and like I sent like Wolves and stuff. And when that cover like came out, it was an alternative press magazine, which I was like, I still have it. I think I have it like framed in my parents' house, the ad
cool.
for the cover and stuff. And, I think I sent you some pictures too. Like people got it like tattooed on them and stuff, which is like insane to me. Like, I don't think I've had like, any other piece that I know of that, has been tattooed on people more times than like this cover. And, like sometimes like, so very, very rarely, but occasionally, like I'll get recognized out somewhere, and like somebody, I think I was at the Franklin Music Hall in Philly one time, and somebody knew me, came up to me and was just like, dude, like you're Curly, right? And I was like, yeah. He's just like, dude, and like fucking lifted his arm up and had like Everything Is Beautiful. Like, I was like blown away. I was like, what the fuck, dude? I was like, so fucking sick, dude. I've seen like other people too. There was I wish I saved it. There was like a tattoo artist like out of like Florida or something that did like a whole flash sheet made up of like the sea creature characters and stuff like that. And yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, that album is like a cult classic album to like his fan base, and like people like absolutely adore it. And yeah, it's like, it's crazy, dude. Like I even have the vinyl too. which is awesome. Kurt was kind enough. This is like the back of it, which is sick. It's like the behind.
It's like iconic, you know, and it's like very much of that time too, which is cool.
Yeah, and it's this was all with like quill pen too. It's just like it's just
nice.
such a weird, you know, like it's weird, you know, like I think people just like it for that, and it's like it doesn't really like kind of match the music. I mean, like listening to it now, it's like I feel like because I've seen it so much, is that like I can't imagine the music without this album artwork, but I think at the time like it kind of didn't really make sense, and like
it made sense to the fans.
Yeah, and I'm forever grateful to Kurt for giving me the opportunity. We actually worked was it last year or was it 2 years ago now? I think it might have been last year. I think it was the 10-year anniversary of Everything Is Beautiful. Actually, no, dude, that was like 2014. It was 2 years ago. Holy shit. It was the 10-year anniversary of that album, and we did like Kurt and I worked on like doing like a revamped version for like a tour flyer and like some merch designs and stuff. And I wish I don't think we ever did another cover together, which I kind of respect. As much as I wished we would have just done like a whole, you know, spread of it or just continued like the theme. He's gone on to like release like a bunch of albums with like different covers and stuff like that, but I kind of like it because I kind of feel like it holds like a special place. Like it's the only right. I think all of his album covers now are just like photographs and stuff, which is cool, but I like that like mine has like always been the standout one. So I've got a very, very fond connection to this album, and it's awesome that like even now like that album is like 12 years old, and like people still jam it regularly and are still getting it like tattooed, which is like fucking nuts. So sick.
That's an awesome story, man. Maybe we'll go just slightly faster. Not to like rush you, just look at the time.
Oh shit. No, I mean and this is like you know, like
Ascent like Wolves.
Yeah, that was the cover that I had done for them at the time that Kurt Travis had seen, and yeah, that cover is like also pretty fond to me too, because my parents had or my dad had like a little like snowmobiling cabin like upstate New York, and one of my dad's buddies who lived upstate lived in like an A-frame house that was like exactly like that, and my buddies in Ascent Like Wolves were like, you know, oh, we just like want something that's like, you know, the album's called Frigid Future. Like, can you make something that's, you know, something cold, you know? And I remember like being up there one weekend with my parents and just going down to their buddy's house and like doing like sketches of it, and like did the house and like the whole theme of like it's like an abandoned house of like wolves like approaching it, you know. It was pretty cool. That one's like one of my favorites. I think that one also,
I really like that one.
Thank you, man. I think that one also was quill pen also. And then the cover next to it was for this deathcore band called Serling, which was really awesome. They were like their whole bag was Twilight Zone themed. Like all of their songs were like episodes of
cool.
Twilight Zone. They're fucking heavy too. Like that album, I think it's called Next Stop Willoughby. Yeah, they just wanted something that was like Twilight Zone themed, and me being like a fan of the show and stuff, and just sort of like drawing references from that, and kind of just keeping it a bit original, like within like the similar space of it, you know. That one's like a huge favorite of mine too.
Yeah, that one's really strong as well. I like how like you have the overall like shapes and the you know the loop, but like the images change kind of like slowly around it. Like there's a good it's got a strong design, and then as you look deeper, you can see how like the transitions are smooth between those different subjects. I think it's really cool.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I wanted something that felt like chaotic but contained, or like organized in like some weird way that still sort of felt like because the whole album is just like for like deathcore, it's more like just like full on groove oriented. Like every single song is just like a crazy like groove, you know. So as I was listening to the album and like working on the piece, like I kind of just wanted to make something that felt like the flow state of just like the constant grooves like throughout the album, and sort of just adding like the horror and chaos of you know, the whole thing. There's something that could complement the music that like, well, it's like I guess speaking back on it too, is just like something, you know, it's like the music itself is like violent and scary, but like trying to like translate that into like a more colorful, you know, like kind of like almost like playful, chaotic, you know, kind of vibe to it. Kind of like the juxtaposition complements each other, I think.
Totally.
Yeah, this one, my friend from Scent Like Wolves, when his band broke up, we recently we put this out last October, and this was like a project that we had sitting for like ever, like maybe 10 years, and it was like just like a bunch of crazy mathcore stuff, because like he's also like a huge fan of like the whole Myspace era. I honestly feel like I learned everything from him growing up, because he always had like, he had crazier, you know, colorful monster t-shirts, you know, than I did, you know, and you know, we both sort of like really understood each other on that regard. And yeah, this cover was just, we just wanted to make something like absolutely ridiculous. We originally tracked like 3 songs for it, like back in like 2014 or 15, that we never released. But I remember making a shitty makeshift cover that I can't find anymore. But it was just like a weird like Photoshop thing of like volcanoes with like rainbows coming out of them, trying to like harken to like something like Arsonist Get All the Girls, or
right.
War from a Harlot's Mouth, or something like that. And so when we finally his Sound Like Wolves was done, and like he didn't really have anything like kind of going on, we decided to like finally, you know, cut the shit and like record this like ridiculous album. And this was just like sort of like a passion project like between the both of us. And I still wanted to like incorporate, you know, like I wanted this like giant like monolithic like 2-headed tortoise with like a suggestive genitalia in the neck. I just wanted to be as like offensive and disgusting as possible, because the whole album is just gross at its core, just like gnarly. So I just wanted something that just felt like a full-on like bad acid trip, and still incorporating like the volcanoes from the original cover, like as the spikes on like the tortoise shell. I'm so scatterbrained right now, because I should have sent the back cover of it. I don't even have the record on me right now, but the back cover is like the back end of the turtle, and it's like basically like shitting the track list.
Yeah, send it over to me. I'll put it in post.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. It's like basically shitting the track list, and then like the track list is like written in like worms. It's like really gross. I don't know. I don't really do like a lot of like erotica kind of stuff. Again, throwing that on the list of things to do in 2026.
You want to do more erotica?
I kind of do. I kind of really do.
You got to go to the next level. Huh?
I kind of feel like that. Like I'm kind of bored with like gore, and I kind of just want to get more freaky with it. I kind of want to, because the back cover is like genuinely offensive. I don't even know if you could like show it on. I don't know. I don't even know what,
far back in the episode.
Yeah, I don't even know what the fuck I was on, dude. I was just like wanted to just make something as like hideous and repugnant as possible. And then like we're working on the back. I was working on the back cover of it, and I'm just like, I don't even know what the fuck. I'm just like, fuck it, dude. I'm just gonna have this massive turtle just taking this like gross, unhealthy shit. But yeah, it's definitely a passion project. I don't even know how I like managed to like bang this piece out with like all of my current commissions. It was just like a full on, just for the love of the game, putting it together, and just, you know, wanted something that I was really inspired by the Arsonists Get All the Girls Portals album cover a lot, because that's also
my wife used to have that shirt when we were first starting to date.
Oh, really? No shit.
Yeah, she had it was a green one. But yeah, that was like one of the, when I first met her freshman year, I remember her wearing that. I'm like, all right, I think we might get along.
Dude, yeah. Hot people in general have a deep history with Arsonists Get All the Girls. I'm just gonna say that, dude. There's just hot people have a deep history with that band, and same with like Heavy Low too. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember them
that's back when mathcore did have bitches. I don't know if it has bitches anymore.
I don't think it
Maybe
does.
not.
Unfortunately, maybe I don't know. I'm out of touch.
Yeah,
All right, so these two are pretty cool.
Yeah, dude. The Bullet for My Valentine and Trivium one, I think, is probably at this point still probably one of my personal biggest achievements. I think that one's like just super got super lucky on that. I'm very fortunate to have some like great friends who work at the Fillmore in Philadelphia. Some very good friends, and the Fillmore does gifts for bands that sell it out, and they do this like really awesome program where like certain bands will sell it out, and they will hire like local Philly commission local Philly artists to do like a run of like posters and as gifts to the bands and like the crew for selling it out. And they reached out to me for the Bullet for My Valentine Trivium show, which was like just like a massive especially on the anniversary tour too. This one still is like huge for me. That was like
Ascendancy. That was a big album for me.
Yeah. And it was just great. I mean, like they were just great to work with. And when we did print the posters for it, actually, I think I can grab it. I still have some. Actually, I can ship one of these out to you if you want. I still have a ton of them.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
But we did.
Oh, the foil's nice.
Yeah, we did foil on it, which came out like really fucking gorgeous, and they're like massive, and they're like we worked with Four Finger Press in Philadelphia. They're like a screen printing company that does like local runs and stuff, and they absolutely killed it on this because they said the Fillmore wanted to have something with foil in it, so I was trying to like find like a creative and interesting way to incorporate foil into the piece. So like just having it on like the girl's skin and like on the wings and the eye and teeth too, like sort of like creeping in. Probably one of my favorite commissions and favorite pieces I think I've ever done, hands down, honestly.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And All Shall Perish too. I mean, I've done like a ton of work for them. I think this was for one of their first announcements for like coming back.
I think didn't they do like an open call for artists? So they must have.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I think. You're right.
They must have liked what you put out there.
Yeah. That's right. I totally. Yeah, I remember that. They actually they finally did send me one of the shirts too from it, which is came out pretty cool. I like to like bump the colors up like super bright on it.
Yeah, they got that Grinch green right there.
Yeah, smoking on that Grinch, bro. Dude, they're great, and I just they also just kind of just let me freak it on this one. They're just kind of like, just what do you got that's brutal? I'm like, I'm going to the brutal store. You want anything? Let me get a toxic waste guy melting some poor dumb fool. Got it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
I think this is the last one. So this is some personal work.
Yeah. So I'm very excited to share these. Well, the one on the left was out for like a little bit, but the one on the right is my most recent piece. I actually just finished that this past week. I've been kind of dabbling with like digital painting really hard and trying to like push myself to do something completely different with my styles. Not to say that I'm like backing out from any of like the Cartoon Monster merch stuff, but I've been really itching to like get back into painting again and just like really getting back in touch with it. And I had actually reached out to kind of recently for it was a Philly local art show that was like taking place. It was the bands you might be familiar with, but like Agriculture and Knoll.
Mm-hmm.
They did a show in Philly, and they were also doing like an adjacent art show for like Philadelphia like metal artists and stuff. And I kind of got anxious and kind of backed out like last minute on it, and I felt really bad about it because like, as you know, so much of my work revolves around like a lot of like parody stuff and like doing a lot of work for like other bands. And you know, the only time that I ever really get to like kind of lock in and just be expressive with like my own stuff is like whether I'm like working on music or like doing mostly like Zombie Shark is sort of like the my big outlet for like personal work. But it's been so long since I've just had like pieces, you know, that kind of weren't like tethered to like band kind of stuff. And I backed out of Anxious, even though it wouldn't have mattered. I'm very foolish. It's one of my biggest regrets from this year already is not just it got too in my head about shit, and it kind of like spun me out into like just doing like a whole body of work. I sent you some other images of some personal pieces and stuff that I've been working on, but I've been kind of like, when I'm not working on commissions, I've been kind of like steadily hammering away this like kind of whole new body of work that I'm kind of working on and like planning on unveiling. I think a lot of my goal with it is kind of, I've been working with bands for so long, and I think a lot of like my work is solely focused on like apparel design and like shirt designs and stuff, which I enjoy quite a bit. Album artwork, on the other hand, is kind of like slowed down for me just like a kind of a bit, but I kind of want to like, my goal is to kind of like rebuild like my album artwork line and kind of just do more work that's like this and pitch it, you know, to bands or something that's more album artwork. Cause it's like, I think for me, it's like, you know, bands reach out to me for like album artwork, and it's this, you know, this 9-mile long prompt of like everything they want. And, you know, it's got to be like something specific, or they want to see this kind of thing. And it's like, you know, it's not, I think when I'm making album artwork, it's like I'm making like actual art, and or not saying that I'm not making actual art, but it's like I'm really like locking in, and I'm like getting like, you know, like my design digital brush sets out, and I'm like, you know, making like digital paintings for like album artwork and stuff. And I think it just started to like bother me like last year, like a little bit on just and I'm sure you can relate to, you know, like getting a project that like you're not super stoked on, and like it sucks because you sort of reach like a bit of an impasse where like a band is like really dead set on like this idea, and it's might not even like be like within your wheelhouse or like style of it, you know. And it just, I think if I'm like doing album artwork, I kind of want it to be more personal and in touch with like the kind of style that I want to do. And even if like nobody like picks it up, like I just sort of want to like just build like a body of like this sort of like energy, or at least this is like the kind of like stylings that I've been really into lately. And I think like you know, the goal is to just like build up a body of like artwork like this that, you know, if bands do reach out to me for like album artwork pieces, I'd be more inclined to like do something more meaningful. But like even so, it's like a lot of these pieces are like very deeply personal to me, and I feel like it's like I'm working out a lot of inner turmoil on like some of these, you know, these two pieces. And you know, just to be more like selective about it, you know. It's like, I don't know, I feel like it's been a while since I've just like, you know, made art for myself that's just, you know, like a painting or like a visual or something like that, you know. Totally. And I think like, you know, hopefully if that art show thing opportunity kind of comes around, I kind of want to focus a lot more on like this kind of stuff.
I mean, I think this stuff's really cool, and like I like all the different textures, and I mean, it's raw and emotional for sure. Like you can see it. So I like that. The feeling in the atmosphere is like the most important aspect of it, and then yeah, I think these are really cool, dude. I feel like for like the right band, these could totally work as really good album covers. It's
Right.
just it has to be like a band where they're like frantic and going through some evil shit too,
Right.
you know.
Right.
But like if it pairs, I think this would be really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it has to be that right pairing, I think.
Yeah, it does. And it's not and it's like I'm making these things like obviously like I'm not in any way eager to just like, sell these to like a band like immediately or something. But it's like something where it's like a lot of my artwork in high school, like long before I started like getting into like working with bands, which again I did a really bad job of like preparing for this. A lot of my paintings are still at my parents' house.
Oh, you're fine, dude.
But I think I was back home like not too long ago, and I had found a bunch of like old paintings from high school that were like a lot like similar to like this kind of feeling, and I kind of just felt like it's a bit of like a reconnection to that, or just like sort of like a reconnection to channeling it, like a lot of like dark and like morbid kind of like atmospheres for it, and like still trying to like incorporate like a bit of like the cartooniness, because I feel like the cartoony style is just like in my blood. Like I feel like it's just kind of like there forever, and it's like I remember like being like a bit self-conscious of it like growing up a lot, like trying to think, like again like you were saying, like like some artists get like scared of or something being like too cartoony, or like whatever it is,
It's better to lean into it.
Better, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So like a lot of these like kind of paintings, like coming through with these have been like very therapeutic, I think, because like like a lot of the time it's like and again, like I don't want to like I'm definitely not talking down on like I love the work that I do, and I love working with bands, and I don't really want to like do anything else, honestly.
Right, but you gotta have like an outlet. I get it.
Yeah, and I think like especially too, just like dealing with like a lot of stress and like kind of like inner turmoil and kind of stuff like that, yeah, I'm really hoping. I'm waiting for the right time. This is like the first time I've like really kind of like unveiled some of this stuff, and I'm hoping that like by the end of the year I can build up like enough of like my goal. I don't know if it'll happen this year. I keep saying it every year, but I'd love to like do like 2 books this year. I would love to do a book of like full on traditional like painting and sketches and stuff like that of like this body of work, and then making a separate body of work of just all of like the band t-shirt stuff, and making a whole comprehensive guide, because like I've been doing artwork for bands since like 2013 on and off, and I would love to just make like a giant compendium of like all of the work I've done so far, obviously like crediting bands. I ideally would love to get like blurbs from like bands I worked with too and stuff on it, and still waiting for the right time to kind of like put all this stuff together, but
well, there's no rush. You're also 31, even though you have that much year of experience. I mean, like you're like, think of how many more years of art creation you're going to have. Yeah. That's not to dismiss what you're saying. Just like you got time, man.
Yeah.
Just keep exploring, keep doing this shit.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, I don't know how you would do it exactly, but I think you put some of this stuff out there and kind of explaining why, I think people would resonate with it.
Yeah.
Giving a little bit of context behind it. Like, especially this one on the right. I mean, both these are really strong, but the one on the right, like that one looks like a really dark, suffocating death metal record. If I like,
thank you.
So I don't know, dude. Don't be afraid.
No, I know. I think I do end up being like my own worst enemy in like a lot of instances, dude. I'm a giant anxious ball of anxious, and and I'm always like constantly like overthinking, triple thinking, when really I just need to go outside and touch some grass and maybe smoke some grass and maybe mow the grass and
Yeah, take care of the grass, dude.
yeah, yeah. Maybe plant some grass. Maybe, I don't know. Listen to the band Grass.
There's a band called Grass?
I don't know. Maybe.
It probably is, yeah.
Probably is.
Hopefully it's not an AI band, huh?
Oh no. God, I hope not.
More like ass.
Yeah, more like ass, dude.
Oh, dude, this is a ton of fun, man. This is a great conversation.
Thank you so much for fucking having me, dude. I really appreciate it, man. This is great, dude. Like I said, I know I was geeking out about this before, but I've really wanted to come on to your show for like a bit and chat it up, dude. It's been really great getting to talk with you, man. I feel like I've known you like my whole life, dude.
Same, yeah. Well, a lot of similar upbringing, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, tradition.
Yeah.
One parting piece of advice for other artists. Let's say people want to get into working with bands.
Mm.
What do you want to hit the folks with?
Ooh. Dude, man, you gotta love it, dude. Like, you really gotta love it. Like, you really gotta like love it with your heart and soul. You know, I keep yapping about my mom, but my mom had an amazing record collection, and a lot of times we would like, you know, listen to records, and, you know, she had, you know, I would flip through her records all the fucking time. I was always into album artwork, always into music, always into album artwork and the visuals that are tethered to the music. You know, it's something that I've loved forever. You got to love it, and you got to have a lot of patience, I think, too. You know, I learned a lot on how to be patient with working with like a lot of bands and stuff. And, you know, it's definitely tough. There are some like pretty like harrowing moments that I think a lot of people like aren't prepared for. A lot of young artists like aren't kind of prepared for. And I've definitely had like moments, and I'm not saying this like with every band, but like I've definitely had some like full on like rip my hair out, put my head through a wall like moments, like dealing with people. And it's like, you got to just like, sometimes you just got to like eat the shots, and you got to, you know, kind of thug it out. And, you know, your reputation and your handling of, you know, how you are with people, it means so much more than any kind of, you know, talent that you have. I mean, talent obviously is, you know, and the work ethic you have are one things, but it's like having patience for sure.
Yeah, the people and service part can't be underestimated.
Yeah, because, you know, I mean, that's sort of like the thing. I mean, I went to art school for 4 years, and, you know, the one thing that they like just don't tell you at all is that like it really is your connections and how you interact with people, because that's what people remember more than anything. You know, they're going to remember like how you were, you know, like talking with them, and, you know, how you were, you know, like working with them, and you know, if like you were, you know, cool or not and stuff. Because like nobody wants to, it's a delicate thing what we do. And, you know, it's like, it's very easy to just, you know, crash out and just being like, you know, like, oh, fuck you, man. Like, I'm not fucking weird on it. You know, the next thing you know is like, you know, you're missing out on opportunities because, you know, like, you know, the next big band might reach out to you and just being like, you know, hey, what's Curly Art like to work with? What's Lee like to work with? And they'll just be like, oh, dude, he's a fucking prick, dude. We tried to get this fucking design done, and he freaked out about it. And, you know, you know, like, and that's
sounds like me.
Yeah, he guy was such a fucking dick, dude. He just fucking like screaming at me the whole time, and like, but yeah, dude, it's just have love and patience, man, and be yourself, dude. Just be yourself. I think that's one thing that took me a long time to kind of get.
That's the thing I'm leaving with this episode is like, just be yourself.
Yeah, we were just talking about it, you know, don't be ashamed of like, you know, like your musical past and stuff. Just be yourself, dude. Just be yourself. You know, it's all you can be. It's all you are. You know. At the end of the day.
This episode is really just both of us coming out of the closet of being prior scene kids. You know.
Yeah.
That's all this episode really was, you know.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I've been out. I mean, hopefully, I dragged you out kicking and screaming a little
This
bit.
is when I put the giant, just like poser sticker right here.
Yeah, dude, the biggest two posers yap for like 3 hours.
Oh man, this is a ton of fun. For everybody watching, please follow Curly, and hope you had as much fun as we did. Yeah, until next time. See you guys.
Thanks so much, man.